Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the weekly group call on the Speaker Focus platform. I am the world's #1 speaker coach, Kevin T. Robertson, here with my business partner and co-founder, Auston Troyer. We're here to bring you another masterclass. Today, you're absolutely not going to believe the topic that we have today. Today, we're going to be talking about service excellence. Today, we're going to be talking about service excellence. We're going to talk about how to provide service excellence for conference coordinators and their attendees. How to create the best service experience for conference coordinators and their attendees. We're going to take a deep dive into a topic that is a problem and is spread worldwide. And it's the deliverance of service. Overall, customer service is right around 42.3%, under 50%. Now, if you exclude the hospitality industries and the hotels and things of that nature in specific areas, these people have to keep a high rating so that they can keep their occupancy rates very high. So you see that in the hotel industry, the hospitality, resorts, any type of vacation industry, they have to keep this level of service very high because it matters to them. It actually means something to them that they understand the premium that they have to place when people spend money. Doesn't matter if it's $2 or $2 million. There's a premium that you have to place in providing service. It takes discipline to do that. It takes you to have some type of, you gotta give a damn about what experience that you're creating for your customer. And today we're going to take a very deep dive talking about what experience you should be creating for your customer. What are things that you should have in your company? What are things that the customer is looking for? I'm talking about in specific for you speakers, all of the conference coordinators, meeting event planners, key decision makers, committee members and chairs that are making these decisions to book speakers. You also have a huge responsibility to the audience members that's going to be in front of them. So out of my 34 years as a professional speaker, I excelled in teaching customer service for probably 23 of those years. It was a topic that I became really, really good at. I have a very natural understanding of people. And then the skill set that I've developed over a number of years being a professional speaker, the customer service piece is really, really, really huge. Because if you think about them first and you think about earning revenue second, but see, the revenue generator is the customer. Let me say that again. The revenue generator is the customer. It's also an accelerator that can take your business to places beyond your wildest imagination. If you care to manage the customer properly, then you can have all the things that you need in a proper business model. There are many business models out there that place a high premium on the customer, and there are many people out there. Amazon and Jeff Bezos is one of them. You know, I remember when I took a business trip back in probably around February, March, something like that, and Austin had me read about 66 investment letters that Jeff Bezos wrote to all of his investors about the growth and development of Amazon. And the key thing that galvanized all 66 letters, and the thing that galvanized it was making the customer first, creating a customer experience. See, this is your responsibility. So I want you to look at it like this. Your customer, they are gaining from your experiences. So if you want to make the best experience for them as possible, let's talk about a pleasant experience. Let's talk about a memorable one. Let's talk about one that they're never going to forget. Let's talk about one that makes them feel good, right? This is the kind of customer service I'm talking about. And me and Austin would never display any type of characteristics or disciplines on this platform that we didn't want you to utilize, I should say, with your customers. It's important that you see us illustrate these things to you first. Now, I know customer service very well. I think if I had to choose two topics that I'm really, really skilled at, obviously besides leadership and entrepreneurship, I'd say the ability to read personality types in specific women, and also customer service. I do a lot of research on the two because women control most of the purchasing decision for households. So I like to understand why they do that, why they purchase what they purchase. 93% of people that book me to speak have been female over a 34-year career, over 2,750 paid speaking engagements. 93% of those conference coordinators were female. It's one of the reasons why I like wearing color, right? Because I know who my client base is. Women are attracted to color. Like, these are just simple things about customer service that you may know or you may not know. I study it. And when something's working, you have to be consistent with it. So I'm looking, anyone that does business with us, we're looking to create, I'm talking about an extravaganza, an experience, something you would never forget. Looking for you to not just be excited, but we're looking to keep you engaged. We're looking for our programs to be interactive. We're looking for the features in our service to hold your attention for elongated periods of time and add massive value. Now, if you can follow me in this mastermind class that we're going to be teaching about how to create the best customer experience for conference coordinators and meeting planners, or also with conference attendees, you have to understand that when you place a high premium on customer service, making sure that you're delivering service excellence, making sure that you, in fact, understand how to create that experience from contact to close, it is definitely something that has to be managed. You can't be making up stuff and doing it as you go. You know, you got to have some integrity. Customer service is about integrity. You know, what's your idea, excuse me, of what you see in your head of what you want to deliver to your customers? We're going to get into that. I'm going to talk to you about, like I always do, many of my experiences being in the customer service industry. Doesn't matter what you do for a living. Doesn't matter what your niche is as a speaker. It doesn't matter. We are all in the industry of providing service to other people. Whatever you feel about your services on the inside, eventually the customer is going to see that. So demonstration and illustration and through your sales tools and everything, you're going to be able to see in your business model very quickly, are the customers responding to your particular leadership style? Do they like your platform? Is it easy for them to understand? We're going to walk you through all of these things. We have a system in place that we're going to show you this evening about how you can deliver this type of service excellence for your customers as well. Taking them through the experience, taking them through your experiences, your unique experiences. And it's a very delicate balance. Some of the customers they fit the mold of people who are very demanding. They say, watch this, they say the customer's always what? They say the customer's always right. In fact, 73.9% of the time, the customer is in fact not all the way right. They don't have it right. You are the customer service rep. You are the person with the skills, the tools, the expertise, the knowledge. So therefore, the customer has to come to you to understand how things work. It's your job to illustrate to them. Because the more you can duplicate systems, the less you're going to be talking yourself. So it's important that you understand you have to train the customers on a continuous basis. You have to deliver, I should say over deliver, because if you do it the right way, over delivering should be normal for you. You shouldn't just be trying to do just enough to get by. The customer is very demanding. Customers also come in different shapes, sizes, colors, races, different mindsets. Do you realize you should fire some of your customers because they aren't serving your business model very well? And some of you need to step your game up because your business model is not serving the customer well. And if you, I will say this and I'll jump into my presentation, if you are not focusing in this masterclass, if you're not getting your mind in a mode of making sure that the value's there, what am I talking about? Your programs, your signature programs, and your professional speaking deliverables should not be weak, vague, outdated. They shouldn't duplicate another weak or vague or outdated program, Remember the differentiation we talked about with branding on last week's session. Today, I'm going to get into all about the customer experience, because at the end of the day, we cannot make any money. We are nothing without the client base. I want to take the time from the heart right now. I want to thank anybody that has ever done business with me or Auston, individually or collectively. I want to thank the very early coaching students. I want to thank the early coaching students in the one-on-one coaching program. I want to thank thousands and thousands of people who scheduled a call with us, who didn't even join the coaching program, but you took your time to hear me out and hear our offer. I want to thank the huge impact that a lot of our coaching students have had. I want to send a special shout out to Rufus Washington Jr. Rufus Washington was the very first coaching student who opted into our sales funnel almost 4 years ago. And Rufus is doing great in our coaching program and going into market and speaking to conference coordinators. You remember people because they're special. You know why? Because they thought enough about you to spend their money. Here's what you're really asking someone to do before you even start the service experience. What you're asking them to do is take a chance on you. And I know without a doubt, when I think about, I should say, the people that have taken a chance on me and Auston, and that put their all into what it is that we do. They believe in us, right? And when you have someone that believes in you, it's your responsibility to make sure that you deliver from word go, and then walk them through every step of the process, give them the tools, the resources, the support, the training, the teaching, whatever you want to call it, to be there in it with them for the long haul. So that's my shout out to anybody that's ever done business with me and Auston individually or collectively. We are just getting started. Today's topic is how to create the best service experience for conference coordinators and also conference attendees. I'm going to do a share screen right now. I'm going to jump in to my presentation. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I have something very special for you today. Oh, we got to start from the beginning. That would be nice, KTR. Okay. How to create the ultimate, I apologize. How to create the ultimate service experience for meeting planners and conference coordinators is what we're talking about on our session today. This mastermind session is dedicated to the service experience. You know, when you're going through this process and you are thinking about customers, I want you to be heartfelt as you go through the process, because the more of yourself and your personality you can put into this will create a better experience for the customer. There's really no other way to say it. You know, I'm a person who's very passionate about what I do. I'm also very compassionate. I'm also very sensitive to the customer's needs. This is why I study it and I look at it. And you've got to take all data into consideration. Me and Auston don't do everything at a perfect level. But we do it at a level of caring. We do it at a level where there's trust established on both sides. There's some accountability, on both sides. And you either give a damn about the customer or you don't. I mean, there's no like middle ground. It's like saying, oh, I'm a little bit pregnant or I'm not. No, you either are or you aren't. You either care about the customer or you don't. You either want to help them get what they want. And in turn, if you look at it the right way, when you help them get what they want, you're going to get what you want. See, a high level customer experience is going to create higher levels of revenue for you. Let me say that again. When you create a higher level customer experience, in other words, when you deliver service excellence at a high level, I'm not talking about doing enough just to get by. When you do that at a high level, the revenue takes care of itself. So think about this. For all of you who are looking at a lot of poor products in the marketplace, doesn't matter what industry it is. We could go out to a restaurant, some restaurants, yay, I had a great meal. Woo, I can put 5 stars on Yelp. Okay, then you go to a restaurant, they had horrible service. Now, sometimes it's the management, sometimes it's the actual delivery of the service that you receive, whether or not it's food or ordering something online, or when you go to the dealership to get service on your car. How did they speak to you? Was it friendly? Was it a friendly experience? I mean, you got some of these people, that act like you're doing them a favor by giving you their money. No. Let's get it very clear. The customer's doing you a favor by giving you their money and doing business with you. What you're asking the customer to do, you're asking them to separate themselves from their money. Before you can even start the service experience and delivering it at a high level, it starts with the customer saying, why should I give you my money? Mr. or Mrs. Professional Speaker, why should I be doing business with you? And this is the reason why you be very wise and smart enough to organize all your sales tools, because they're going to remember your brand precedes you. Go back to the 2.5+ hour training that we did last week. And look at your brand walks through the door before you. So what makes our closing ratio so high as Speaker Focus is that we have all these tools. We have all these seeds that we planted throughout the internet. So everybody's looking at it worldwide. They're looking at all these branded impressions. I don't have time to answer millions and millions of branded impressions that we generate every single month. I don't have time to deal with those kind of questions. So we had to systematize everything. And the ones who are the most serious, those are the ones who want to do the work and those who have a budget. Everybody else, you're not ready for the Speaker Focus experience, to be honest with you. Because if you were, you do like everybody else. You put your money where your mouth was, and you get your you put your worker cap on, right? Your speaker worker cap, and you'll be ready to learn these strategies. You'll be going through these modules. You'll be putting this stuff together. Because one thing about it, see, your success rate is our success rate. But I can't do the work for you. But what I don't promise. See, we don't make promises on the Speaker Focus platform. Promises are made to be broken, with everyone. Think about it. Fill in the blank. When you hear the word promise, this is our service promise. That doesn't mean shit to me. When the customer rep starts talking about, oh, Mr. Robertson, I promise we're going to get it right. Do you know what I start to think about? The more they talk about promises, the more they're getting away from fixing my problem. See, don't just give me lip service. See, the customer don't want to hear any of that. We're very educated now because we have the internet. There's a lot of bad things on the internet, but there's a lot of things that will educate you about whatever it is you want to buy, whether or not it's reviews, whether or not it's you actually ordering the product. Sometimes you have to take a chance on the product. Sometimes you don't really know. Like, watch this. Now, before I was 30, I had a very slender frame my whole life. Like it took me till I was 30, 31, 32, till I really started filling out with like a grown man body. Like I was really slender. So I could wear Italian suits like it was nothing. I didn't even have to think about the size. Now you have all of these companies that sell things online. You really got to watch what you're buying, because unless you're super skinny, when your body starts changing, it's the same thing for ladies. Like your body starts changing when you're in your 20s. You don't have the same body composition as you do when you're in your 30s. That's a mature woman, right? Now with a lot of these sizes, do you realize some of these sizes, in order for me to get a size L, a large, or an extra large, I got to order a 2X sometimes? What the hell kind of world do we live in where I got to order a 2X just for it to fit like a large? But this is what's happening. You got to understand my experience going through, and I'm a customer like everybody else. So think about it. How do I want to get treated with the ultimate respect? I have a simple pet peeve, everybody. Maybe you have this one as well. When I go out to eat something, and restaurants have been opening back up, and I've been going to my fair share of restaurants. You put your mask on as soon as you walk through the door. Okay, you sit at the table. Everybody's social distancing. Their table's way over there, no problem. I feel safe. I take my mask off while I'm eating. If I have to use the restroom, you put your mask on. When you get ready to leave, you put your mask on. As soon as I get outside, boom, I take the mask back off, right? But think about this. Here's my pet peeve. When I sit down at a restaurant, first of all, I don't really like to take my food home because I like my food hot. So when my food comes out, like I just went to the Mexican restaurant a couple days ago. Authentic Mexican cuisine. Oh, it's delicious. So when they bought my fajitas out, steak, shrimp, and chicken, it's sizzling off the pot. I want it, I'm digging right in, I'm putting it in there. I want to eat my food when it's hot. I don't like cold food. So you would totally mess up my service experience if you bring me out some cold food. You can try it if you want to. You can send it right back to the kitchen, and you could just, you know why? Because I work hard for my money. I work hard for my money, so I don't care what it is. I am looking to get taken care of. See, I'm spoiled. I'm the type of customer, I'm spoiled. Whenever I've had a lot of money in my life, you can best believe I'm going to have the best of whatever that is when I'm at the top of my money game. So see, I understand. Listen, I remember when I bought my first 600 Mercedes Benz. I mean, they ordered me an entire seafood dinner. And they made it an experience. I don't have to sit around and wait. I'm not waiting on financing. No, Mr. Robertson, we'll take care of everything. We'll bring the car to you. That's a service experience. When you go into the dealership, they got food waiting for you. If you got to go in for service, that's a service experience. Free soda and drinks and all the stuff that you like. The kids can get people love that kind of stuff. That's all part of the experience. When you start buying higher ticket items, they treat you like a king and a queen. You know why? Because they have to. Because they realize that everybody, what do you think? It's easy for somebody to come in there and drop $250,000 on a vehicle? You think it's easy to get a sale for somebody to drop 100 grand on a brand new car? There is a large sector of the market, but the bottom line is when you start spending money at a premium level, you've got to step your game up to create a service experience. I'm not interested in a regular service experience anymore. Vegas is famous for this. I've been to Vegas like 25 times. So, especially if you stay at the regular hotel, let's say you stay at the Venetian, the Bellagio, you stay at the bigger hotels, they're at like 95, 97% max capacity at all times. You know why? Because they give deals left and right. Vegas would damn near fly you there for free because they don't give a damn about that money on that plane ticket. They don't care about that little deal that they just gave you. Your room is typically $750 for a suite per night. They'll give it to you for $250. You know why? Because they want you to hit the casino. Now, I'm not a gambler. I'm not a gambler. I gamble on myself and in business, but I'm not just going to throw my money away. No, it's not happening. But it's a lot of people that do love to gamble, and that's part of their experience. Are you starting to understand? See, it's not just about, you're not just going to walk a whale through and think that you're going to give them some wine in a paper cup. Or you think you're going to pop the cap off a beer bottle and go, no. No, they want the premium experience. They want to be treated at a high level. Now, I'm also spoiled because I've been a professional speaker for a long period of time. I've been a consultant for a long time. I've been a celebrity insider since I've been 18. I have participated in some of the biggest catered events. The spread, so, I mean, I've been to $1 million birthday parties before for celebrities. They spend $1 million just on the party. I have participated in Sky Suite spreads and all kinds of meet and greets for me, where they've had luncheons and dinners and meals. I mean, listen, I've had companies take me out, the whole company take me out, it's 50 people. They bring the bill, the bill comes back, it's like $3,500. I'm talking crazy type of stuff. And everybody gets exactly what it is that they want. That's one of the main reasons why I started. You know, I got a little round over the years because I haven't paid for a meal myself. I haven't paid for my own meal in over 27 years. Probably longer than that. When I started to become a $5,000+ speaker, this whole nother world opened up to me. See, the conference coordinator will create the ultimate experience for you if you deliver the ultimate value for them. You're not listening to me. You're not ready for this training tonight. They will create the ultimate experience for you if you just pull on the value. Now, let me go ahead and get into the slide presentation. What exactly is the customer experience? Let me just break it down. Customer experience, also known as CX, is your customer's holistic perception of their experience with your business or your brand. What is holistic? That's full circle. In other words, they don't want to part. It's the whole thing of what they think they're going to get from you. What is perception? Perception is what I think. Perception is in fact reality. Remember, marketing is me making you believe what I want you to believe. So you've got to paint a picture. Let me go back to Vegas for a second. Vegas paints such a picture for you. It's very alluring. I mean, it's so easy to get people to come to Vegas or Monte Carlo or Saint-Tropez. Or it's easy for you to go to the Netherlands or Switzerland. I mean, these places look magical. It looks like something fell out of a fantasy. And guess what? You want to be a part of the fantasy. And that's why you book a ticket. See? You want to be a part of the fantasy. You want to, Mr. Rourke and Tattoo, welcome to Fantasy Island. You want to be a part of it. Now it's your job to paint the picture of the holistic perception that the conference coordinator is going to have about you. What is that? That's one of professionalism. As you can see, KTR in another one of my photo shoots over here. I mean, don't even get me started on this entire tuxedo ensemble with the pocket square and the tie match with that fuchsia and black and gray color. And by the way, you can't really see it, but those are very fine fuchsia and gray and black lines going through that shirt. And those are emerald. Those are emerald French cufflinks right there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because there's also burgundy, that burgundy color for the French cuffs. I mean, for the cufflinks, it's in the shirt as well. Don't play with me. I get clean. This is about, it's about the perception. Do you want to look like money to attract more money? Oh, you don't think that that's a part of it? Well, think again. Because they always want the people who look like they're higher end, they want to book those at the higher end events. And if that doesn't match your brand, great. No problem. But me, when you grow up underprivileged, when you grow up eating fried bologna and cheese sandwiches every day, you grow up with rats and roaches and mice running around your neighborhood, right? You grow up eating hot dogs and beans a lot. Or when you're the youngest in the family and you get the smallest piece of chicken. Oh, I know you hear me. I know you hear me, because if you don't come from wealth, then maybe you're on Easy Street right now. But I didn't grow up on Easy Street. I grew up on Hard Knocks Boulevard. So therefore, I am going to put forth, my mother raised me and my brother to be gentlemen. So I'm going to dress like one. And when you're doing business, the perception of business is we're all in suits and ties. Now, I realize that some people have a polo shirt on, some people have a t-shirt, and that's great. But the masses respond. In business, we respond to professional attire. Create an experience. Remember, it's also known as CX. Let me move forward. CX is also the result of every interaction a customer has with your business. Let me say that again. The customer experience is the result of every single interaction a customer has with your business, from navigating the website, talking to the customer service rep, or receiving the product or service that they bought from you, and every little thing that makes up your business. I don't know how many different things that you have to run your business. Thousands of little finite details that's inside the engine. And the customer has to hit every last one of those things in your business. And they're going to feel every last thing in your business. That means when you're going through a rough time, guess what? If you don't know how to manage things the right way, the customer is going to go through a rough time. When you're going through growing pains, the customers who are loyal to you, they're going to go through the growing pains with you. And by the way, keep giving you money over and over again. Quick story from Barry White, the megastar singer from the 70s, Barry White. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But Barry White, I heard him in an interview one time. Barry White said, man, one of the biggest blessings is that when somebody buys your record and then they say, I'm going to come see you live to hear you sing the same song. And some people buy a ticket over and over and over. Why would you do that? It's because Barry White makes these women He makes them feel real good. He makes them fantasize about what they can do with their man. He talks about love. That's what you do when you're a singer. You're selling an image. But Barry White, for the most part, he made people feel good. His music made people feel good. It made them feel love. I can remember when Bill Walton, ex-NFL legend, he's an NBA legend. I apologize. NBA legend, and he's a Hall of Famer. Bill Walton used to play for the Portland Trailblazers back in the day, and he played for the Celtics with Larry Bird before he retired. Now, Bill Walton is a huge Grateful Dead fan. Bill Walton, it's on record, he has seen the Grateful Dead live at least 50 plus times. That means you know how much you know what your Grateful Dead ticket is? I mean, a rock ticket is probably like $250 minimum. And Bill Walton is probably getting floor seats, so it's more than that. He keeps buying a ticket over and over and over. Why would a customer do that? You know why? Because you made them part of your experience. And if you start doing this, my beloved platform, you will have money coming out of every orifice of your body. The more you create an experience for them, the more revenue you're going to generate. And if you work hard on that, you're going to make money, but you got to build the machine. You got to build the customer experience machine. See, this is a machine, just like we talked about, me and Austin talked to you about the marketing machine. We're talking about the customer service. This is a machine. Put some heart into it, people. What do you think is going on in here? If your brand is authentic, and you work hard to take the customer through that experience, and you never leave them. You never leave their side. You're with them every step of the way. The customer knows you got their back. They know your product works. They got faith in you. You know what they're going to start doing? Blah, 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 blah. They're going to be talking to everybody about you and your brand, how wonderful and beautiful you make them feel. How much support and love that they get from you. You want to be spoken highly about. See, a high level of your integrity and your reputation is what people say about you behind your back. Everything you do impacts your customer. Everything you do impacts your customer. You're not ready for the training tonight. That's why I got to keep repeating myself. Let me say it again. Everything you do impacts your customer. Perception and their decision to keep coming back or not. So great customer experience is your key to success. Excuse me, please. This is a brand new flavor by Synergy Raw Kombucha. It's the Guavo Goddess flavor. See, when I drink these kombuchas, this is an experience. It makes me feel so good when I have these drinks. Oh, it's full of all kinds of organic probiotic. Oh, it just makes my stomach feel so good. Now, let's move on. Let's talk about why. Oh, KTR, you're so excited today. You're going through all of these slides right here. I see you with your little cute suit on and your bow tie right here on the first slide. See, y'all not even prepared to deal with me when I get extra clean like that. Paisley bow tie, I forgot to make mention about that as well. Why are you so excited, KTR? Why do we have to deliver this ultimate service experience for meeting planners and conference coordinators? Because see, now we're working in a dual capacity. So let me get back to it. See, it's not just one that you're dealing with here. You're dealing with two people, or you're dealing with two separate things, I should say. Why are you dealing with the two separate things? First, let's talk about the conference coordinator. When you surround yourself with conference coordinators, listen, your family members should be conference coordinators. Your best friends should be conference coordinators. Your business associates should be conference coordinators. Every new person you meet should be a conference coordinator. We don't give a damn about anybody except for conference coordinators. I'm not interested in meeting anybody. I don't want to network with anybody. I don't want to talk to you. I don't. Because if you're touring full time, let me tell you, when you surround yourself with conference coordinators, you will never run out of money. Why do we need to treat these people extra special? Why do we need to build products and stuff for the customer? Why do we need to build products for the target buyer? Why do me and Austin study consumer behavior so much? Why do we follow the model of Jeff Bezos? Because see, when Jeff Bezos first started back in the 90s, oh, everybody was like, oh, he's going after some stuff. He's crazy. Yeah, he looks real crazy right now. Business tripled throughout the pandemic. He saw it coming years ago. He told everybody about it. See, you don't have to understand what's going on with everybody else. You just need to understand what's going on with your plan. So your conference coordinator is your target buyer. Your conference attendee is the target audience. Why, KTR? Why? Why do you want me to treat them so important? Now, this lady standing right here with her clipboard in her hand or her folder in her hand, that's the conference coordinator. Conference coordinators are in business to serve their constituency. See, remember, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. We're all in the industry of providing service to other people. Doesn't matter. And the conference coordinator has a responsibility. They are serving their members. They're serving the people who register for their conference. So if you think they're going to trust you, if you don't bring some value, remember the conference coordinator is a gatekeeper, and they are not going to trust you to put you in front of this right here, target audience, unless you deliver massive value. You can forget it. You can beg. You can try to get them on the phone and say, oh, I'm a motivational speaker. Please hire me. Stop. Think about delivering the massive value. And then you'll become hireable like you wouldn't even begin to imagine. Get out of broke, begging, and desperation mode, and then develop some leverage. Develop leverage. And then what it's going to do is make you more consistent. You're going to be able to have all the control. And then you're going to have the power. And you're going to be able to do whatever it is you want to do. See, leverage is what puts you in a position where you have the knowledge. Now everybody has to come to you to get that specific thing. That's called leverage. That's why Jeff Bezos and Amazon have leverage. You know what that does? Leverage generates more revenue. You know what generate more revenue does? Give you more power. You know what power does? Let you do anything you want to do. That's why Amazon is buying up all of these old factories and buying up this real estate and buying up these other companies. Because they got power. And that's what you do when you have power. It's just natural. It's a natural course of business. The strong stomps out the ones who don't have a stronger business plan, the ones who don't understand technology and marketing. They get squished. They get run out of business. They get embarrassed. They get exposed, like what Speaker Focus is doing to the other coaching programs in the marketplace. I'm not trying to do it on purpose. I'm not trying to call them out. I can't help it if your customer service experience is horrible. I can't help it because you try to ask for the person's credit card information 5 or 10 minutes into the phone and you haven't added any value whatsoever. We can't help it that your onboarding experience is horrible. We can't help it that we have coaching students on our platform that when they take your coaching program, they still have dropped $5,000 and $10,000 and $15,000 sometimes, and they still don't know how to book speaking engagements. That is not my fault. You are the one who didn't manage the service experience properly. Ladies and gentlemen, if you forgot, learn to love it and get used to it. I'm number one. We're number one. We're simply the best. Learn to love it. Now, that's my desire and goal for you. Now, if you want to be the best and number one in your space, you got to ask yourself, why? Why do I need to do these things, Kevin? Why? Why do you want me to over-deliver as a normal? Over-delivering should be normal for you. You shouldn't have to muster up a lot of strength. Oh, I'm kind of down. I need to drink a Red Bull so I could get myself up to over-deliver for the customer. If you got to do that, you need to get out of business. See, over-delivering should be natural. And if you're not interested in doing that part of the business, you need to get out of business because the customer drives everything. The customer drives everything. I love the customer. I love conference coordinators. I love the target audience. I love them all. Treat them with the respect that they deserve. Remember, the conference coordinator is not going to give you the keys to the red Ferrari that can go 275 miles an hour if you don't show them the value. They're not going to give you the keys and trust you with a high power machine. And let's not even talk about that the conference coordinator, target buyer, is sticking their neck out on the line for you and your little speaker programs. So I suggest that you put yourself in a position where you're going to add value and you're going to do something big. See, I'm interested in doing something that's epic with the conference coordinator. I'm looking to create partnerships with the conference coordinator. Because see, the more I take care of them, see, watch this. I'm going to be able to get in front of this group right here very easily. This is the easy part. Getting there, see, this is where most speakers are stuck. They're stuck in the trap because they got the stars in their eyes, and all they see themselves doing, I just want to get on stage and speak. But you don't get that. This is the reward unless you take care of her first. See, you got to take care of this person before you can get over here and get in front of these people to hold that microphone. That is a privilege to hold that microphone in your hand. See, that's not a guarantee. Speaking is a privilege. And to earn that customer is a bigger privilege. And you will earn the customer. What do you think? You think it's easy for them to write you a check for $5,000, $7,500, and $10,000? I don't care if it's coming from a company or not. You think that's easy? You think it's easy for you to convince people through your marketing materials and your service experience? You think it's easy for them to give you money? Because if you're not getting a lot of it right now, it means that you have not built the right kind of service machine so that you could attract those customers into your marketing pipeline. See, a marketing machine is different, but the service machine is something totally different. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about straight up customer service. You better be thinking about over delivering. Whatever energy you have inside of you, I suggest you put a lot of it into your customers. This is an investment that you make into your customers. Why do you think sometimes on a Sunday, my day off, I have a list of my sick and shut-in coaching students, ones who are going through chemo, ones who are in and out of the hospital, ones who just had a procedure. Some people just lost their job. They have to take a hiatus from the coaching program. Some people have fallen on rough times. You know, part of the experience, what I told them I was going to do in the beginning, if you ever run into anything, all you got to do is just give me a call. Let's have a real conversation. Just have a real conversation. Because I invested the time into them and I continue to invest the time into them. Give them the opportunity to get their lives together and they'll come back very willingly, very freely. And they'll keep giving you money. They'll keep paying you money over and over again when they feel like they're taken care of. When they feel like they're, see, this is something that's bigger than me in Austin. And everybody that deals with us know that. I don't have to tell it to them. They can see it in every single thing it is that I do. Yeah, I get fired up. Yeah, I'm excited. Because I got people that rely on me. And I have a responsibility to our coaching platform. I have a responsibility to do exactly what I told them I was going to do right from the start. See, that's called managing the expectation. I told all of you I wasn't going to be holding your hand and kissing your ass. I told you I was going to hold you accountable. I told you I was going to tell it to you like it is. I told you everything up front. And then you get into the coaching program and I told you I was going to be with you every step of the way. And that's what we do. And if I'm not with you every step of the way, you feel free to send me an email. What do you think? You think the customer can't hold you accountable? It doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to deliver it at a high level. 6 common factors of creating a customer experience strategy. There's an actual strategy behind how to do this. I'm going to break down these 6 common factors right now. Strategy number 1. What is your customer experience vision? I want to get Troyer in here real quick because Troyer is always real good at being able to create these kind of these kind of scenarios or these explanations about the value of the vision that you should be delivering for your customer. So Troy, if you could share, I know you do extensive research with Jeff Bezos. If you could share some of the things I remember when we had our early talks about Amazon and Jeff Bezos, if you could share what his vision was about the customer experience.
Yeah, for sure. Could you make me a co-host so I can share my screen?
Okay. I apologize about that, boss. Got it. You good?
Yep.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. So Jeff Bezos came up with this this diagram here early on when they first started Amazon. Actually, not when they started it, about right when they IPO'd. He released this to the public, mostly for shareholders, so they could understand why it was a good idea to invest in Amazon. And he calls it the Amazon flywheel. And essentially, this is the engine that created Amazon. It's the reason that Amazon got to where it's at today, and it's going to dominate in the future as well. And essentially, so I'll share a link with explaining this in detail. And actually, this is if in week 5 of the program we break this down on how this applies to building a successful speaking business. But essentially, what you have here is all the key levers that Amazon has to pull in order to continue growing and further becoming a monopoly in what they do. And you can see here, so they have 4 different key areas of this. They call it the flywheel. And essentially at the start of it is the customer experience. And really what Jeff Bezos says is the one that controls and has the most superior customer experience wins. The one who controls the customer wins. And Apple follows that same methodology. And it's why they have such rigid standards for, what apps can be released on the App Store, and everything they put out, they want to have control over the customer experience. It's actually one of their core values, because they know that, any product they put out, if they control that marketplace, if they control the customer's attention, they know that the customer is going to be more likely to buy, their products over their competitors. And so essentially what they have here is, okay, if we have a superior customer service, a superior customer experience, that's going to lead to customers telling their friends about Amazon and about the amazing customer experience that they have, because people naturally, products that they love, services that they love, they can't stop talking about, and they're going to share links. If a friend says, hey, I'm looking for this type of product, they're going to send them an Amazon link. They're not going to send them some other store. They're not going to send them a Walmart link. And so what they realize is, okay, having a superior customer experience leads to more traffic to your website from referrals. What happens is when you have more traffic on your site, third-party sellers are now more attracted to selling their products on your site, so that more traffic leads to more sellers on their platform. Now, more sellers leads to, this is like third-party sellers on the Amazon site, leads to a higher selection. There's more products available. And when you have more products available, that leads to a better customer experience. And this thing just blows up. It compounds tremendously over time. This is not a linear type of thing. This is something that is self-fulfilling, and just every time this thing comes around, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where they're at now, where Jeff Bezos, #1 net worth in the world, Amazon, unstoppable force in e-commerce. And the main reason is this right here. And so if you really want to understand how this applies to the speaking business and how you build this type of flywheel in the speaking business, go into week 5. We break this down in detail. Now, so some of the key things that Jeff says really drive really drive growth in a company. And the reason that customer experience is so important is, these three reasons. Number one, most important, is you're going to get the one who controls the customer. The one who controls the customer wins. You need to have them, and how you control the customer is having the best customer experience, investing heavily in, when you have a new speaking client that signs up, you need to get on the phone with them immediately, thank them. You need to send them gifts. You need to make them feel really good about your service and constantly be in communication with them. Build a relationship with your customer. Don't just take their money and do the gig and then just walk away. Like, really engage with the customer, because you want to have a relationship with them. Controlling the customer just means having a great relationship with them over time. And number two, number two is referrals. If you build a superior customer experience, you're going to have organic referrals. You're going to be getting new business without having to spend money on marketing. And the best type of new customers you can get are going to be from referrals. They close easier, and they're usually way easier to sell. So referrals is another one. And then finally, I think another big one is going to be customer lifetime value. So when I say LTV, that means lifetime value. So let's say, you sign up a speaking customer for $5,000. You get a $5,000 speaking gig. What's going to happen is, okay, if you don't develop a relationship with the customer, if you don't keep them engaged over time, if you don't keep providing value, maybe your lifetime value of a customer is only $5,000. Every new person that comes into your speaking business, they only give you $5,000. Well, are you going to win against a person that has great relationships with the customer and is able to get $50,000 over 6 months by upselling customers to other speaking programs that you have? Perhaps you sell a $5,000 keynote. However, you go back to that same conference coordinator that hired you for that $5,000 gig. You've built up the relationship with them. They love you. And 3 months into the relationship, you say, hey, would a 3-day workshop be valuable to your organization? And let's say you bag it for $45,000. Well, now that customer is worth to you, your speaking business, $50,000. So customer lifetime value is a key lever that you need to grow and think about in your business. You don't just want one-off customers. And if you build the relationship right, you'll be able to sell customers and provide value to customers through other products in the future. I think those are the core things. Do you have anything else, Kevin?
No, I just wanted you to jump in there, and I love seeing Troyer up on the whiteboard. What can I say? I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll get you back in here shortly.
Cool.
So let me go back to the let me go back to my presentation. Wait a minute. Where did it go? Ah, there we go. I'm hitting resume share, and it's for some reason sharing is paused. Bring your share window to the front. Okay. Hey, Troy, for some reason my screen is all right. Let me just hit stop share, and I'm gonna hit screen share again. Let me start over.
There we go. We can see it.
Yeah, you can see it, but I can't.
Huh.
I don't know what's going on here.
Click on the Zoom icon maybe at the bottom.
Okay.
So we see your Chrome window.
Yeah, I can't see it at all. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Okay, so what is your vision? Auston just gave you a very great example of Jeff Bezos' vision. They call it the customer obsession at Amazon. They're obsessed with the customer. And that experience is very important. So you have to have a vision in your head, everyone, about what you want to do with your customer and what type of service you want to deliver. I could tell you by being in the speaking industry, it's like anything else. You see some speakers that deliver bad service, speakers that are being ungrateful. I've seen this at live events with my own eyes. One of the things that really had me stand out very early on in my career was that I worked very hard to make my presentation table, you know, very professional looking, even when I had black and white sales tools. You know, I put forth my best effort. Wherever I was, I always made sure that when people walked over to me, I would interact to them. I would thank them. You know, that's just the way I was raised. And you have to have a situational awareness when you're dealing with people. And yeah, some of that is very natural, but I had to work on that. That's a skill. I had to work on that people skill over a number of years. And it's invaluable. You know, you have to have an idea in your head about how you want to do your business and how your business model is going to fit into the marketplace. Now, when I looked at other speakers being rude and they weren't even thanking people who would purchase a book from them, or they wanted to sign up on their mailing list or something, I mean, I just said, man, you're rude. I mean, you know, you're walking around acting like, you know, you don't need any of these people. And, you know, the attitude that some of these speakers had was just, it was astonishing to me. I said, wow, you know, I don't care what they've done. I don't care if they spent money with you or not. If they show interest in you and your business, you need to have a level of appreciation. That's always been in my vision. It's always been in my vision to make sure that I reciprocate what's being given to me. And I realize I want to earn that money. I just want to do a nice, clean deal. I want to feel good about the business that I do. I want to have some integrity. When I do business, I want everything to be above board. I want people that are interested in doing the same thing with me. See, that's called energy alignment. And I believe that when you have a vision, you're going to attract the people to your brand who is worthy of your brand, and you're worthy of their money. And that's how that should work. Now, what is the description of your customer? You know, we talk about this all the time. What is the description of your customer? In other words, what does your customer look like? What's your ideal customer look like? You know, it's a client avatar that Auston had me fill out very early in our relationship. And he really made me think about the type of coaching students that we were going to be servicing. And the people that I told him I wanted to attract the most was the people that was experiencing a lot of pain like I was for the first 7 to 10 years of my career. We successfully put my pain into a video sales letter for about a half an hour, and it's been converting ever since we put it out there into the marketplace at a very high level. But all I did was figure out exactly who I was talking to. So you need to have a real description. Like, you really need to study consumer behavior. You know, look at the Walmarts and the Amazons and many other companies that get it right. They study the consumer. They know what your behavior is. They know what you are going to do before you do it. So you know what I've done? I know the conference coordinator better than they know themselves. I mean, you would think that I was a conference coordinator. I've done events before. I've done my own events before. I know exactly what it feels like to be stressed out like a conference coordinator. I know exactly what it feels like to do a bad event where it doesn't go your way. I also know what it feels like to do a really, really good event. I mean, you're on a high for months after this event. You can't stop talking about it. So if you really understand what your customer is made up of, then you will try the hardest that you can for your business model to make a good match. This is very important. Do you realize that sometimes meeting planners pick the wrong speaker for the event? I've had it happen to me before, and you feel like a fish out of water. You're just there speaking. The audience really isn't feeling you because you didn't really understand who the customer was to begin with. You didn't care. You just try to take the gig for the money. And this is where it's going to really get you in trouble. And I would respectfully request that you don't take a speaking gig just for the money. It's got to be some alignment there. So you really got to understand who your customer is. What are they about? How are they wired? What do they want? What are their desires? What are their needs? Do you even care? Because if you don't, you're going to be in big trouble. Now, number 3 is tailored customer gap analysis and insights. This is another one as well. When you're doing a gap analysis, what you're doing is you're analyzing where the customer is right now versus where they need to be. Now, your tips, tools, strategies, techniques, pillars, steps, all kinds of techniques, you know, all of the things that you're sharing with them, all the strategies, all the insights you have about your professional speaking deliverables, that is going to build a bridge to help the conference coordinator get from where they are right now, where it is they need to be. And you should be interested in creating partnerships with your conference coordinator. Picking and probing, asking a lot of questions. Gap analysis. Here's what it sounds like when you're on the phone with the conference coordinator. Hey, Ms. Johnson, Kevin T. Robertson, how are you today? Oh, by the way, this is after I've booked a speaking gig. I know that I'm their speaker of choice. I get on the phone with them and I'm just having a follow-up call. See, I'm done with the sales cycle. I've already closed the client. The gap analysis comes after you get the gig. I'm going to hop back on the phone. Hey, Ms. Johnson, Kevin T. Robertson, how are you? Hey, Kevin, what's going on? Hey, listen, you know, I want to make the most of our time. We scheduled a half an hour session today so we could do an analysis, you know, so I could ask you some, you know, deeper questions. And, you know, I wanted to make sure that you and anybody else that needed to hear this would be on the call. Yeah, Kevin, we have Mr. Thomas here, and we also have Mr. Davis here, and also Ms. Robinson is here as well. Okay, great. You know, is it going to be a speaker, or is everybody like called in on one line, or what? Oh, no, everybody's in the same office, Kevin. They're on speaker. They can hear you. Hey, I'm introducing myself. Hey, how's everybody doing? Ms. Robinson, how are you? Nice to make your acquaintance. Mr. Thomas, Mr. Davis, how are you? Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. So listen, I wanted to find out, one of the biggest questions that's important to me, Ms. Johnson, is making sure that I understand some gray areas we need to absolutely stay away from. This is an important question for me. It's not something that's on the pre-programmed questionnaire that I already sent you over. I had you fill out. I know I got your email that you sent me with some research information. You sent me the annual reports. I got the website. I got all that stuff. Great. But I'm asking you, are there any sensitive areas that I absolutely need to stay away from? Are there some hot words? Are there some trending words that you don't like in your organization? Because I want to make sure that they are found nowhere in my presentation and I don't say them in my presentation. Kevin, let me see. We had a situation where, you know, we had, you know, we're in a volatile climate right now with race and things of that nature, and inequality and stuff like that. You know, I know that you're not that, we're not hiring you to do that. You know, we're talking about more so of a leadership thing with our managers. However, you know, we have about 70% of our staff is going to be African-American and female. Okay, great. That's a great starting point. That's the kind of stuff that I need to know. I did see that. I did see some of that in the pre-programmed questionnaire, but I wanted to ask you. Okay, so obviously, listen, I was raised by my mom to be a gentleman. Okay, so my approach when I'm working with a primary female audience is to be a gentleman first. All right, we can take care of much of this through the tonality of my voice, Ms. Johnson, like you hear me speaking to you right now. It's just very natural when I'm speaking to females. I have a very warmer approach in my voice, not condescending, but just warm. And I'm going to make sure that I inject those type of things all throughout the presentation, and all of that is in with the way I manage my communication. So I'm glad that you told me we had 70% female. By the way, just for the record, I am not a chauvinist, and I'm not, and I don't have any biases at all in my body. I got nothing but love, and that's what I have throughout my presentation as well. Okay, great. Now I'm gonna take a little break. All right, now I think you get the idea. These are the kind of things that I'm actually saying to the client when I'm doing a gap analysis. I'm trying to figure out what I need to stay away from, but I'm also going into what it is that they need. Okay, Ms. Johnson, let's start. Let's start with the theme of your event. What's the theme going to be called? Well, Kevin, we feel like the theme of this conference coming up for 2021 is going to be, you know, excelling at leadership development. Okay, great, excelling at leadership development. By the way, I'm I got a pen in my hand. I'm taking notes as you should be doing this needs assessment. All right. So now, okay, Ms. Johnson. So excellence in leadership development. Okay, great. So tell me some of the things that you really would like to get out of your conference. What are some of the things you expect out of your speaker? And I know I'm not the only one. I understand that I'm going to be one of possibly 25 presenters. I'm doing the keynote, but you also have me doing a breakout session probably right after the lunch keynote. Is that correct? Yeah, it's also good to, I'm just trying to get an insight on what the other speakers are doing or offering or bringing to the table. When do you think you have the program ready for the conference, by the way? Or you can show me a roster of the speakers. I just like to be able to know. I don't like to have any overlapping topics. I don't want to be talking about some of the same things that they're talking about. I don't like to over trend or anything of that. I'm bringing a custom presentation to your audience, and I want to make sure that that's what you're paying for, and that's what I'm going to deliver. All right. Now, as you can see, you notice something else that I said to the conference coordinator. I need to be able to see who's speaking, because when you don't ask these kind of questions, and for those of you who love to use a lot of quotes, I've been on a same program with some speakers who have used the same quote over and over and over again, or some type of trending type of slang or some commercial you saw on television and you thought it was going to be cool. The audience doesn't want to hear that shit after 7 or 8 times. So here's how I know for sure that you're not going to duplicate anything I'm saying, because I'm not going to say anything that's trending. I'm not going to use anybody else's quotes. All of my topics are customized. All of this is found out in the gap analysis if you know how to do it the right way. If you care about the service experience, starts right from the gap analysis. Yes, am I telling you got to be charming? Am I telling you got to be compassionate? Am I telling you got to listen? The biggest thing that's going to get you through the gap analysis is your listening skills. By the way, listening skills in corporate America are under 50% as well. Why aren't people listening? People have selective hearing. They hear what they want to hear instead of what they need to hear to have a positive communication interaction. And you better be listening to the conference coordinator right off the break, because it's really going to help you out a lot. And whatever it is that all you got to do is just fill the order. Listen to what they're asking you that they need delivered at their conference. And then all you got to do is just go in and take your signature programs and deliver that. And don't deviate. You want to be number one? Do a proper gap analysis. Let's move on. I hope you got something about that role play when I had the phone up to my head. And I'm going to make a video very soon. And I'm going to have a conference coordinator online. And you're going to be able to hear my conversation with a conference coordinator, exactly how it goes. Oh, we're going to role play. We got some good stuff coming up. A roadmap to service excellence. I mean, if you want to achieve this, you got to get on the right path to doing so. And a lot of that, I'll be honest with you, a lot of that has to do with personality. Your personality can get you a long way. How about just be nice? How about just be nice? Think about, see, this is what people say. Treat people like you want to be treated. Well, what if your self-esteem sucks and you don't even know how you like to be treated? I like to be treated nice. I'm used to having nice things. I want to be treated nice. King type of treatment is what I don't, it's not a demand. It's a prerequisite. So I'm looking to do business with companies that is going to treat me like that. So I'm looking to deliver that kind of service excellence. And therefore I'm creating a roadmap. I'm painting a picture of exactly Mr. and Mrs. Conference Coordinator. This is where we're going to turn left. So how you do that is to get on the roadmap to service excellence. Here's what it sounds like. Hey, Ms. Johnson, I teach leadership strategies that magnify success. Now, you saw that in my speaker info kit that I saw you. Which one of the programs that were you interested in? Okay, you were interested in focus-based leadership. Okay, so we're going to customize something around leadership based upon the excellent theme that you're going with, the excellence in leadership development. I'm going to customize a strategy around that. And some of the key points that you told me about was improved communication, making sure that people understand their role as a leader. You talked about succession planning as well, and 2 other things. Those are great points. By the way, my focus-based leadership program will cover all of that. That program encapsulates the very essence of what you're talking about right now, Ms. Johnson. Also, what I'm going to do in the program is I'm going to teach your conference goers and conference attendees. I'm going to give them simple, practical application strategies. I'm going to teach them how to connect the dots when it comes to effectively communicating. I'm going to teach them about KTR's mechanics of communication. We're going to go over personality profiling, the 4 major personality types that everyone in the world falls into, Ms. Johnson. We're also going to talk about the different personality types and how you can reduce clashes in the workplace. We're going to talk about them organizing their communication. They don't have to be good or great at it. It just simply needs to be effective. We're also going to talk about generational communication. We're also going to talk about proximity of communication, gender communication, listening skills. Ms. Johnson, we're going to have so much fun when we do this presentation. Your audience is going to start picking up strategies immediately. They're going to start seeing themselves in your corporate vision and mission statement, and they're going to feel the theme of your event immediately. And my job in this whole situation, Ms. Johnson, is just to reinforce all of the topics that you're going to be talking about, reinforce the theme of your event, reinforce and, make you look like a rock star that you are in front of your conference attendees. I'm sensitive to the current status of America that we're in right now. I'm also sensitive to what you have to go through as a conference coordinator. Since I've serviced thousands of them, Ms. Johnson, know that you're in good hands. You're working with an individual who is very passionate about what they do. I'm sure you can hear that over the phone. And I'm also compassionate. I actually give a damn about your success. And this partnership that we're creating, it's important that I do some listening like I'm doing right now so that you understand exactly what I'm bringing to the table. So with that being said, now, all I'm going to do is keep talking to her in a very calm tone of voice. You kept hearing what I said. Ms. Johnson, also what I'm going to do for your audience is, that's the roadmap. I'm showing her, I'm taking her all the way down the road. Value, value, value. Every single time we turn the corner, she's running into more value, more value, more value. I'm taking her all through the dips and the bends. I'm taking her through the entire roadmap of service excellence. Excellence means you're doing something at a very, very high level. That's what excellence means. Now, if you understand me on that, let's go to module 5. I hope you enjoyed the role play. Now, an accountability outline for your company to follow. I suggest you govern yourself accordingly. What are the things that govern your company? Are you prepared for the customer to hold you accountable? Like you're holding them accountable? See, you're asking the customer throughout the onboarding experience, you're asking them, you're setting expectations. You expect, like when you come into Speaker Focus, I tell you right off the break, I tell it to everybody, same exact way. I don't have time to be holding your hand, kissing your ass, but I'm going to hold you accountable. And if you're ready for that type of learning experience, I'm letting you know right off the break, don't be coming in here playing games. Because if you want to do that, you can keep your credit card, you can keep your money and stay right where you are. But if you want to join this program, I'm going to hold you accountable. But guess what? You can hold me accountable. See, accountability works both ways. Because you can better believe if you aren't doing something that the customer feels like you should be doing, it's time for them to pull your card. And if they're holding you accountable, and if in fact you made a mistake, which happens, shut your mouth, go into service recovery mode, and do something to make it right. They're spending money with you. You owe the services, they owe the money. Fair exchange is no robbery. Do a good and clean deal. Take care of people, and they will take care of you. Don't be squinching your face up when it's time for them to hold you accountable. Don't roll your eyes up in the top of your head. No, this is all part of managing the customer to create the best experience possible. Now, with that being said, what do you think? You're not going to get some reviews? It's not going to be not so kind? You think they're going to just scream from the rooftops? Even if you're doing a service and you're delivering it at a high level, 99.999%, like your boy KTR, when you're not doing it at 100, be open for growth. Be open for change. Lay out an accountability outline. for your company to follow and everybody that's associated with you and your brand. Because I can tell you right now, you are not doing anything to mess up all this hard work that me and Austin put. I'm talking about people that come on board with our staff. There's no way I'm going to invite you in on my team to Thanksgiving dinner, and I got nice white carpet, and I'm going to let you in with some muddy boots on. You can forget that. You better think about the company that you keep, because the system of accountability is non-negotiable. I have a job to do for my client base, and I wake up every day. I'm thrilled, blessed, fortunate to be doing it. See, if that's not how you're thinking, if that's not how you're thinking, maybe you don't know what fried bologna and cheese sandwiches taste like, because I do. I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve you every single day on this platform. Grateful that I give the opportunity to sit up here and disseminate this information with you. Grateful that I don't mind when I miss a message or two. Hey, KTR, did you see that? Oh, you know what? Hey, I just came back off vacation, or I took a little break, or I missed that, but I'm on it right now. You have an answer in a few days. Just address it. You'd be amazed at what you can get accomplished with holding. Accountability works both ways with just the right kind of communication. All you got to do is let people know what's going on. Let me get to the last one. And we're talking about KPIs, key performance indicators. Troy, can you jump back in here real quick on key performance indicators? KPIs, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get Auston Troyer in here to talk about key performance indicators. Some of the main factors of why performance is important, why you should track it, what you should be looking for. Auston Troyer, talk to us about KPIs, bro.
Yeah, so key performance indicators, so you can have a lot of them in your business, and you will, but when it pertains to KPIs around how your customer experiences, you're going to have specific ones to the actual, after you do a presentation, let's say at a corporation, you're going to probably have some sort of, audience survey that happens. And Kevin, you want to speak on, the actual specific customer surveys you've seen after you've done a keynote or a presentation?
Yes, that is definitely a trackable, a key performance indicator that's trackable is going to be your speaker performance. Absolutely. And I give an example of that later on in the presentation as well, with an evaluation form. A typical evaluation form, you just can't get around it. If you speak at a conference, you're going to get an evaluation form, and it's going to be a whole lot of different categories of what they're going to rate. They're going to rate your performance, the content, were you familiar with the material? And if you suck, they're going to give you a horrible rating. And I guarantee you, you will not get hired back there again. Why do you think I had these companies, as I traveled in abroad, hire me again and again and again? I've had companies hire me 25, 50 plus times. You think you got to be good to do that? It's because my evaluation forms are outstanding, because I over deliver. They can see that I actually care. And that is the biggest thing that you're going to have to deal with after your performance. You want to get repeat business? I suggest you give an outstanding presentation. See, that's having enough respect for the client before you go in to put together the presentation properly. And when it's delivered properly, they're not going to have a choice but to say, oh my God, Kevin, while we're talking about it, can we book you for our sales conference coming up at the top of the year for another 3-day program? That's another $30,000, by the way, back when my fee was $10,000. I used to love that stuff. Love it. And it's a big compliment too, Austin, because you're doing a bang up. You're doing a hell of a job. Got to take pride in that. Go ahead, boss.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I think that's the number one KPI that you should be tracking for your customer experience, because that is your main service that you're offering, is the presentations and the communication. So you want to make sure those evaluation forms that are going out, you need to make sure that those numbers, that average rating that you're getting is going up over time. Now, another one that you can do, this is the industry standard. It's called NPS score. You can Google it and learn more about it, but it's a net promoter score. Essentially, you can send out a survey This is just a standardized way to measure your customer experience. And you basically send out a survey. It's anonymous to your customers, and it's a 1 to 10 scale of how likely they are to refer you to a friend or family. Or sorry, friend, colleague, family. And then essentially you can put it into a calculator, an NPS calculator, and it'll tell you how well you're doing. And you want a 9 or 10 score on average, because that's essentially, you're doing a really good job at delivering a great customer experience. So that's another metric that you can get, another KPI. And then there's the last one, the final one, is engagement metrics. So when I say engagement, that is essentially how often on average are you communicating with your customers every week, every month? And, a good cadence is at least, monthly, so we can do monthly. So let's say you have 10 conference coordinators that you've done business with. Okay, well, how many of those conference coordinators have you, the month it's September 28th. Okay, how many conference coordinators of your customers did you communicate with this month? Was it, 3, 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10? And what you want to be doing is make sure that this number is going up every month. You want to be trying to get on the phone, at least send out an email, communicating with your customers every single month, because that engagement will lead over time will lead to, higher revenue. It'll lead to your conference coordinators remembering you and your brand and your services when it comes time to book another engagement, or one of their conference coordinator friends is saying, hey, I'm looking for some speakers. Guess who they're going to remember? Probably, Brian that just talked to on the phone, yesterday or last month. So make sure you're tracking how often are you engaging with your customers, and make sure all 3 of these metrics these KPIs are improving every single month, because these will drive the revenue and the referrals in your business, in your speaking business.
Yep, absolutely. And just to be able to piggyback off that, I appreciate that, Austin. To piggyback off what he just said, one of the things that you really have to do when you start maintaining a tour schedule, and we're going to get to your questions in a little bit. I see we have a lot of them down here. One of the things you have to do when you tour is you really have to be good at your phone management. I mean, at the airport, when I'm sitting down having a meal, when I'm like, I have a layover, the times that I did, I would always be working the phones, because every single month I would have people that I have a push pin on my calendar that they said, give them a call back. Now, they may not be ready to talk about their conference at the time when I talked to them 6 months ago, 9 months ago, a year ago. Why do you think I have Fortune 500 companies on my resume? Why do you think I got Deloitte, a Fortune 100 company, on my resume? Why do you think I have clients like that? Because I work the phones and I've managed the relationships with people. That's the reason why. Because see, this is what most speakers do. Oh, they don't want to book me. You start crying if you don't get the booking. No, it's about building a relationship. When they tell me no, no doesn't mean yes today, but it doesn't mean no forever. You have to keep in contact with people, and part of it is the automation, but it's nothing like them hearing your voice. Hey, watch this. And this is what I do. When I call them up, I'm not calling them to talk about the speaking engagement. I'm calling them to see how I can help them. Do you know I leave the door open even for conference coordinators that don't book me to speak? Hey, listen, I know you got a conference coming up and I got a lot of great strategies. Oh, Kevin, we had all our speakers booked, but we'd love to keep the door open. Absolutely. Listen, if you need to contact me about anything for your conferences coming up, even the one that I'm not speaking at, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I know how to plan conferences. I'm extremely organized. I've worked with tons of conference coordinators, especially for the conference coordinators who really don't do it at a really high level. Conference coordinators that lack experience, but they're trying to do their first big event, they're nervous. They're nervous, but I've done big events before, so I can help them through that event. The more you try to create partnerships, okay, Rufus has his hand up. Okay, we're gonna get to some of these questions, Rufus. Hold on, let me just try to get through this next slide, and we're gonna get to some of these questions. All right, the more you try to create partnerships, and the more you build relationships, and you reach out to these conference coordinators, and sometimes I call the conference coordinator when I'm at the airport. This is what I love doing at the airport. See, I got a log of people that's in my phone, even to this day. I got clients that I call just to see how they're doing. KTR, I'm not ready to come into the coaching program right now, bro. My mother's fighting through COVID. I mean, I hear it all every day. My mother just beat COVID. You know what I'm interested in talking to this guy about the next time I talk to him? Not some damn coaching program. I'm interested in talking to him about how his mother is doing. See, I know the kids' names, I know the wife's name, I know the dog's name. Because I take the time to listen, and when the customer will let you in and tell you things in the strictest of confidence, because they know that you actually care. And because you give a damn and you're building a relationship, who you think they're gonna give their money to when they actually are ready to make a purchasing decision? Listen to what Auston just said. When you are staying in constant contact with these conference coordinators, and you're adding value every time they see your email, value. Every time they hear your voice, value. Damn, he just calling to check on me as a person? Because let me tell you something, nobody cares about the conference coordinator. They have one of the most stressful jobs in the top 5. Nobody cares about the conference coordinator. So the more you care to help them do their job better, the more you're going to open up their ears to listen to your offer when it's time to listen to your offer. Let's take some questions, Troy.
Okay, we got Brian Rehorn first.
Okay, Brian, talk to me, boss.
Yeah, I'm here.
Brian, what's up, baby?
How you doing?
I'm good, man.
When just sitting here listening to you talk, the movie Erin Brockovich came in. I don't know if you ever seen that.
Erin Brockovich, Julia Roberts starred in that, right?
Right. But that's the perfect example of what you're talking about.
Uh-huh. Yep.
In your presentation tonight, it said the breakout session. I want to know what it is, and does it occur only after lunch, as you mentioned?
A breakout session, Brian, they're also referred to as track sessions or breakout sessions. What these are, when you speak at a big conference, even a small conference, what they do, let's say the opening plenary session, that's like they typically do a breakfast, or the plenary session is where everyone gathers to kick the conference off. So I've been the keynote speaker for the opening session to start everything off. Malik Yoba had a daddy's conference one time, and I was the opening keynote speaker in the main room to kick the conference off, to get everybody focused, because that's my thing. See, so the lunch session, you know, sometimes they say, oh, hey, it's like Brian, you're old school like me, so you remember when they had junior high school, right?
Yep.
Yeah, before they had middle school. When they had junior high school, like you would sit in the class for 45 minutes, the bell rings, you go to another class, right? So when you go to these conferences, they let everybody out in between the main sessions. They have these breakout or these track sessions for like 45 minutes. Sometimes you can get hired at a conference to do a multi-day program. You could do 3 or 4 breakout sessions every day. So it's nothing unusual to do a breakout session or a track session. Do you understand how it works?
Right, and that's 45 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes to an hour typically. Again, the bell rings and everybody goes out and goes to they're going to have in their conference program, they're going to be able to see you on the program, and they're going to say, oh wow, Brian teaches leadership empowerment for the new for millennials, whatever it is. You may get a room full of millennials packed all the way to the back. Typically a breakout session, it only holds maybe 50 to 100 people. Right? Sometimes they're even smaller than that because of the type of registrants that to sign up for the conference, but they got it all broken out. When you do these big conferences, they got all these small rooms that they have sectioned off, and the breakout or track sessions occur there.
Right. And one other question.
Yes, sir.
You had mentioned that that you keep in touch with conference coordinators, even though you know you're not speaking, you're offering to help them. And
Yep.
Is there let's say a plan or a standard for an event coordinator to have like a checklist that they have that they need to go down, and do you have that knowledge prior to calling them up what that checklist is, or you just want to offer anything and then they'll give you, if they say, oh, I don't need anything, then I could turn around and say, well, I can help you with XYZ, and XYZ may not be on their list, or you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I do. I know what you're saying. So there's two ways to look at it. Sometimes I'm calling just to see how they're doing. I always leave it open to offer my assistance, as I do with any of my coaching students. But there is a technical checklist that you have when you're planning an event. They can go over that with their staff, with their banquet and the catering staff and the on-site event. The people at Mandalay Bay or these big events, they have a checklist they have to go over. What I'm more trying to help them out with, Brian, is with organizational management. Right. I want them to keep everything organized. And then if they need help with even help with the speakers, because especially when you start getting more seasoned, you can give them insights on what they should be looking for other speakers and other topics and things of that nature. So if they need it, I'm always there to help them. But sometimes I'm just calling them just to take their mind off of it for a couple of minutes. And the conversation may not even last but for 3 to 5 minutes. Sometimes they want to talk a lot. Again, if I have the time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and we could be talking about the game. I talk to them about a lot of other stuff. It's about keeping the connectivity going, Brian.
Right.
And that's really what it is. And building my relationship with, how you think I got the Pittsburgh Steelers NFL Heinz Field as a client?
Built a relationship.
Somebody saw me in the Pittsburgh area. They took one of my DVDs. They took it back to Bernie DeLuca and Maria D'Annunzio, used to be the Scott Suite director at Heinz Field. I think Bernie works for the Dolphins now. And Maria, she is the head of tours at Heinz Field now. So what you do is you get both of them, and then I kept my relationship going with both of them. Hey, how can I be of service to you? Now, 2 years in a row, for whatever reason, they went in another direction because Rob Thompson is the head of stadium ops, and Rob wanted to go in another direction. But the third year, because I kept calling Maria, and Maria's so nice, and Bernie was so nice. They was like, Kevin, oh my God, we've never seen anything like you before, ever. We're going to keep, they fought for me, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Because I had a relationship with them. Now, I could have easily said the first call when they told me no, I could have easily said, okay, up yours. That's the wrong attitude. Brian, I act like they never even told me no, man. You don't take it personal.
No, that's the key, though.
When you know something's there, put it like this. All I knew is Maria and Bernie. I knew they loved me, and I loved them. And I knew we wanted to do something together. And see, that right there is what got me the gig. And you could better believe when the window opened, I don't give a damn if it was 7 years down the line. If they had something to do with it, I was going to get the gig. Now, Brian, if you don't have any other questions, I want to end with this because I want you to remember this. Do you know sometimes when I'm calling the conference coordinator, there's no other speakers calling them at all? They don't get calls from speakers. They get calls from speakers begging every day, but they don't get calls from speakers offering value. And this is what I want you to understand, bro. So when I'm calling, bro, I had a list of hundreds of conference coordinators while I was on the road. I would just call, oh, you know what? It's time for me to talk to Terry Trimble from Welsh Mountain Medical. Oh, Terry hired me 2 years ago, but she said, you know what? They're probably going to be looking to do another event for their managers at their medical center. Oh, let me go ahead and call Terry. Let me just call Terry to see how she's doing. I'm still friends with Terry Trimble on LinkedIn right now. She's one of the best conference coordinators I ever worked with. Some of these people I'm trying to tell you, you don't need any other friends except for conference coordinators. Those are my friends, Brian. Those are my family. Surround yourself with conference coordinators. Actually give a damn about their growth and development. Hey, Terry, how your kids doing? Brian, I know their names, bro. I know the dog's name. I know it all. You know why? Because I'm making my business in them.
Right.
You got it?
Amen. That's it. Amen.
And Brian, you have a lot of charm, bro. Utilize that charm.
I'll see you on the 2nd at 11.
Oh, we got a session coming up. Be ready, bro.
Oh yeah, I am.
It's time to ramp it up. Brian, do you like those killer signature programs that I edited for you?
Oh yeah. Oh
Do you
yeah.
love that? Do you love that bio that I edited for you?
Yes, and I have to buy. I got my. I'm doing my research on that to get my social bio from that, and I want to make a change. And I started writing a book that you titled.
Hey Brian, you saw that I put the title to the book as your mainstay headline, Brian. That's your new book.
But that's the book that I started writing.
That's the book, because the conference coordinator is going to want to buy that book. Again, leadership is the #1 bookable and most requested topic at conferences, corporate meetings, and events worldwide. So write a topic that's already selling. You're smart, Brian.
I'll see you on Friday.
That's why I love you, bro. All right, talk to you real soon.
Hey, Kev,
Okay.
I just wanted to jump in here real quick.
Yes, sir.
So this strategy that you just mentioned of, building relationship with conference coordinators and actually providing value, that's the key to marketing as well. Like getting these conference coordinators into your business to hire you. What we teach in week 5, if you go in week 5 modules, the key to running Facebook ads, the key to doing LinkedIn outreach is, let's say you didn't want to spend any money on marketing, but you wanted to build, $100K a year in speaking revenue. All you need to do is go to LinkedIn, find all these conference coordinators. There's plenty out there. There's 4 million results on there. And every single day, just reach out to 30 to 50 of these people. And don't say, hey, here are my signature programs, buy them. Say, hey, let's hop on a quick chat. I'd love to provide some value. How are things going through COVID? Are you up for a quick chat? I would love to get acquainted. And on that phone, don't sell them. Just spend the entire time asking great questions, listening, and letting them talk about their day-to-day. Like, they don't give a shit about you, and that's okay, but they will care about you after you've learned all their pains, after you've learned their dog's name, and learned about their life. Then they'll be like, oh, tell me about your speaking programs. So that's the key to marketing as well, is giving a shit and providing value. You'll break through the noise so quick.
Yep. Now, that's a great point. Now, as me and Austin go through our client roster at all times, it amazes Austin how well that I know the clients. But again, I'm the speaker coach, so I spend the most time with them and interact with them. So I know what they're going through. I know all of it. Because you gotta be passionate and sensitive about people as you're moving forward with them, because you want to be able to see them grow. You also want to be able to, again, what I was saying with Brian, it amazes me how many times I talk to the conference coordinator and no other speaker is talking to them. No other speaker is taking time to pick up the phone or put them on the email list. It's tons of conference coordinators sitting out there. No one cares. They don't give a damn about the conference coordinator. So when you actually care and you call, and now a good way to get into this with the LinkedIn strategy, by the way, is one of the best things to do is to create a video for your outreach on your follow-up. And it goes a little something like this. Hey, it's Kevin T. Robertson. I noticed that you were in the meeting and event planner space. Hey, listen, for the last 20 plus years, I've been working with conference coordinators delivering massive value. If you ever want to hop on a call and, I'd be glad to, help you with some next level strategies if you're ever interested. Hey, talk soon, right? It's just the point of you taking the time to ask them, because you know what? People are scared of sales. People are afraid to present themselves because they don't know what to present. If you have a process, then you can move through the process rather easily to offer this value that you're offering to offer the value that you need to be delivering to the conference coordinator. Is there anybody else in there, Troy, that had a question? I know you addressed some of them.
No, so Rufus got his question answered, but if anyone in the audience has a question, just use the raise hand feature or just pop it in the chat and we'll unmute you so we can discuss.
Okay, I'm gonna move on with the presentation. Okay, we went over key performance indicators. Now we're gonna move on to the next stage of the presentation tonight, and that will be the 3 disciplines of reaching customer experience maturity. See, there is a level of maturity that you're going to reach when you start ramping up your efforts and your outreach efforts, your marketing efforts, things of this nature. I call it a discipline of service. You might want to jot that down. This is something that I coined when I was teaching customer service for years. There is a discipline that you need to have. Like discipline is character, like martial arts. There are all kinds of different disciplines when it comes to martial arts. You have karate, you have taekwondo, you have jujitsu, you have aikido, you have all of these different disciplines. Well, the discipline to maturing your customer service experience and delivering that at a high level, you got to take it in stages. Obviously, if you don't know, some people don't even know how to deliver a top rated service experience for their customers. They don't know how to do it. I'm giving you many things in here right now. I'm telling you that the reason why I was winning so much as a speaker is because nobody else was checking in on the conference coordinator. I mean, if you just take it at a real simple, if you take it at really, really simple, I was staying in touch more. That's why I was getting the booking. And then on top of that, when you're good, on top of that, when you add value, on top of that, when you actually give a damn and you're calling them up on the phone because you actually care, oh my God, where did they do that? Well, that's what they've always done at any company that I've run: Visions of Life and Associates, Focus Strategy Seminars, KTR Consultancy, Speaker Focus. I don't give a damn. I put that at a high premium. I invest a lot of time into that. That's why I know my customers, because I listen. Now, if you don't know yours and take the time, all I can tell you is your bank account's going to be looking real frail. It's going to be looking real light. But when you invest a lot of time into that part, see, that takes discipline. See, discipline about reaching customer experience maturity is patience. Some of you want it now. And there's some things I want right now. But if you're playing the long game, like what we're teaching you, then you're going to have patience and you're going to wait it out. And this takes discipline, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the first discipline is your customer understanding. Do you forget about any other product that is consumable? Forget about food, forget about clothes, forget about anything. I'm talking about, do you understand this lady right here, this conference coordinator? You see my body language? What does my body language say right there? I'm giving her an answer, but I was doing some listening first. That's the conference coordinator. I think we were with the Hilton. Probably got paid $10,000, $12,000 for that engagement, something like that. You see me over here doing my thing. Now watch this. There's 2 ways to understand the customer. Remember, there's 2 kinds of customers. You got your internal customer, you got your external customer. The internal customers are the people who you work with, your co-workers, your managers, your bosses, your supervisors. That's your internal customer. Then the external customer are the people who we provide service to. That's in a regular business model. Let's talk about speaking. You got 2 types of disciplines. Understanding 2 types of people is all that matter when you're a speaker. The first one is the conference coordinator. I love conference coordinators. I don't give a damn about nobody else except for now coaching students, but this is my world. This lady pays the bills. That's how you need to look at her. She pays the bills. She's responsible for my livelihood. I wouldn't be living at the beach if it wasn't for her, right? I wouldn't have all these nice houses if it wasn't for her. I wouldn't be driving all these nice cars if it wasn't for people like her. And I've serviced thousands of them. Not only that, I went after thousands of gigs that I didn't even get. Well, I still had conversations with the conference coordinator. If you don't get the gig, don't get upset. You should be trying to build relationships, because this lady right here with her nice little Krispy Kreme suit on, right? This lady right here made it possible for me to get in front of these people and get this check and do my presentation at the Hilton Hotel. Now, what you got to understand about me is I will swim the English Channel. I'll do whatever it takes to get on this stage and get that check. See, this is a earned, privileged position that you're in. Excuse me. If you don't take care of her, you don't get here. If you don't, wait, let me go back. Sorry about that, I got excited. If you don't take care of her, you don't get the money. You don't get a chance to put the microphone in your hand and be strutting around and have all the confidence. I'm telling you, a lot of what you see me do, ladies and gentlemen, this is a skill. You got to learn this skill. The gift of communication, the skill of being a, listen, don't you understand that I'm so good at what it is that I do? She's going to keep giving me money over and over. By the way, I think this was, what client was that? I think that was probably HUD. I mean, they just kept giving me money over and over and over again. It got to a point they wouldn't even entertain any other speakers. It took them like 5 years to even think about. I did all their graduation academy ceremony, all their graduation academy ceremonies, all of them. I wonder why. Because they love me. They love the service. See, you are connected to the service and the service is connected to you, but you're not going to understand none of that unless you understand the customer. I take the time to listen. I care about this woman right here and her family, and I care about all these people sitting in my audience. I care about them, not because I'm going to get the money. I'm going to get the money anyway. If you know anything about me, the money is just a byproduct of the hard work. If you work hard, you're going to get the money, but you have got to have a certain kind of discipline, and the first discipline is understanding the customer. Ladies and gentlemen, I suggest you cut your little fake-ass television shows off and stop binge watching some of these shows so much and start picking up some books and studying consumer behavior. Me and Austin know our customer like the back of our hand. I know what you're going to do before you even do it. I know what you're going to say before you even say it. I know you're not going to act before you even act. I know the customers is going to not want to do it. I know the customer is going to be the pay in full model. They all have a certain character, and I have every last one of the characteristics memorized in each one of their personalities. When I tell you, I know exactly what this conference could. This is a real conference coordinator, one who is a high fee conference coordinator. Don't you understand that low fee coordinators are rookies? Anybody can get you to come speak for $500. But when this conference coordinator right here, this is a conference coordinator, know what the hell they're booking. They don't want no motivational speaker. They want Kevin T. Robertson. You see that right there? They want a professional speaker, somebody that's going to deliver value. They trust me. They know when they put me in front of their audience, I'm going to deliver big time. I'm going to get the standing ovation. I'm going to get everybody at the dinner afterwards, right? Everybody's going to be feeling all good. Did you hear what Kevin said? You remember what Kevin said? I got people writing shit down on napkins when we're at dinner. They're taking notes. Value, ladies and gentlemen. This is the kind of confidence that I have in my understanding of who I am delivering service to. And the money takes care of itself. Do not focus on the money. See, one of the principles of wealth is giving. I give a lot up front in the relationship. I invest a lot, not a lot of money, a lot of me. See, if you want to get the money over the long haul, you got to be willing to make the investment of your time, energy, and resources and pour that into this conference coordinator right here. Then when you do it the right way, you're gonna be speaking more times than you can shake a stick at. I love it when I turn down business. I love it when I say, nah, that's not for me. No, I don't want to do that speaking engagement. No, because you know why? Because I got a better one. See, I'm not interested in getting booked on the lower fee level, please. Come on now. Conference coordinators, you already know what it is when you got to deal with me. They know, they want to book value. And this is what you should be thinking about as well. Another thing that allows you to really understand the customer, hear me and hear me good, because this is right there inside of your speaker toolkit. This is inside the speaker toolkit. I believe it's right there in module number 1, or it's in module number 6. It's the pre-programmed questionnaire. Now, this is like a very elaborate document. It's probably like 6 to 7, 8 pages. It breaks down all of the information that you're going to need to do research on the target buyer. If you want to understand this lady right here, then you need to send her, prior to you doing the speaking engagement, you need to send her that pre-programmed questionnaire. And the pre-programmed questionnaire says, Kevin needs your help. This questionnaire enables Kevin to increase the value of his presentation. Please go over all the relevant questions, not skipping over any. I'm sorry, skipping over any that may not apply to you, and then return to this office. All it's doing is just giving me more valuable insights. See, I understand the customer because I'm doing research on them before I go in. I'm looking at the annual report. Oh, you're asking yourself, KTR, why would you read their annual report? I don't know. Maybe I want to know how much freaking money that they're losing. Maybe I want to know what their turnover rate is. You think that's not important to ask? Oh, Kevin, we got a turnover rate of 13.9%. Oh, they got the number. They may not want to tell the public, but I need to know the number. I want to know if your communication sucks. Because typically it does, especially on the executive-ship level. I trained all of them before. I know exactly how they act. The executives are going down one road. They act like they don't give a damn about the grassroots customer service level employees who really are the ones that put the company on their back and make all the money. And then the manager and supervisory level, you know what I noticed? The majority of the time, 75% of managers micromanaged. They try to manage the job instead of trying to manage the people. Their people skills are horrible. So the people already know how to do the job, bro. What you think you hired me for? Even though 72% of resumes are fluffed up, people are sending in a representative, making themselves look very good. So you have to rely on your people skills. And this is why you have so much corporate dysfunction. And all of a sudden, Kevin T. Robertson comes in with his custom suit on. And he comes in, he's the knight in shining armor. I am there to save the day. And that is what your signature programs do when you understand the customer. But if you need to be reading the annual report, you need to understand what their turnover rate is. You need to understand the ratio of males to females. You need to understand people's education level. This is what the pre-programmed questionnaire asks you. What is the attire? Sometimes I don't need to have a custom suit on. I've had conference coordinators specifically ask me, and my business manager, Ward, and my attorney for 30 years, Ward said, they would say, Ward, listen, we know Kevin is super professional. You better believe it. So is there any way you could, Kevin could like dress down? We have a lot of manufacturers that work on the floor, and we just don't want them to feel intimidated by Kevin having a suit on. No problem. This is when you have your logo shirts. It's when you have some khaki pants and a polo shirt. I call it the mirror and model technique. Watch this. I'll ask the conference coordinator, are the majority of people that are going to be in my room, are they going to have jeans on? Yes. Okay, guess what? Now I'm wearing one of my polo shirts with some jeans. I don't need to get fancy with it when I don't have to, but all of this is in the pre-programmed questionnaire. You need to understand that level of education. You need to understand, am I dealing with that? Is my retreat going to be all executives with MBAs, master's degrees, PhDs, 25, 30 years worth of experience? I need to know what I'm walking into. Am I walking into a room full of baby boomers? What kind of different generations do I have? Oh, you better be asking these questions, and it's a whole lot more. The pre-programmed question is just to start. But then I got my own questions that I ask that's even outside the pre-programmed questionnaire. Do you know your customer? Because if you don't, that means you're not spending enough time with this lady right here. And this is all I care about. You know how many different breakfasts and luncheons and meetings and dinners that I've had? You know how many little powwows that I've had after the speaking engagement? You know what I'm doing? Cultivating more business. Always be marketing. Always be nice. Always be kind. Always be charming. Always be a lady. And always be a gentleman. Because when you are, explosive revenue. Stop looking at television and start learning what this lady wants right here. Start helping her put on a stellar event. And I guarantee you're going to be speaking on stage just like Kevin T. Robertson, just walking back and forth with the microphone in my hand. Dream, 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 dream. I'm living the dream, baby. How about you? Because that's what it feels like when I'm on stage. I'm talking about a high that a drug can never, ever give me. When I'm on that stage speaking like that, and I'm making this lady right here happy, oh my God, I love this business. I love the speaking game. Get the pre-programmed questionnaire over to them, ladies and gentlemen, after you get the booking. First thing needs to go out is the pre-programmed questionnaire, because that's going to give you a higher level understanding of your customer. Next is going to be measurements. How are you going to measure success with your clients? That's me doing a big ballroom. I think I had 1,500 people in there that day. I believe that was New York, if I'm not mistaken. That's one of my favorite suit ensembles that I had. You can't see that. That shirt's not white. That shirt is soft pink. I never forget that. It was the first day of spring when I did that presentation that day. Oh my God, I had a great time. Now, the conference coordinator is going to measure your performance. You need to measure the service experience that you're delivering to them. So now, here it is. This is an example. This is a screenshot of a questionnaire. Sometimes they have the rating from low to high, from 1 to 10. This one was 1 to 5. Let's see some of the things that they're rating you on right now. Please evaluate the following items using the rate scale shown from lowest to highest. Let's say speech. Can be clearly heard, easily understood. They're talking about your ass now. That you will be evaluated. This is a measuring tool. Don't think you're just going to come in there and do whatever you want to do and somebody ain't going to have some shit to say. Oh, they're going to have something to say and you want it to be favorable. Now watch this. Speech can be clearly heard and easily understood using pauses and inflection to vary pace and tone. All of that matters. By the way, we teach you all the technical aspects of speaking in module number 1. Elocution, oratorical skills, articulation is very important. Oh, I can be super articulate when I need to be, especially when I'm getting a check in my hand. Oh, you see, I get very studious. Oh, when I put my suit on, I just feel so special. I feel like articulating. Value is what I articulate. Presence, appearance, energetic, and in control of the presentation, effectively using gestures and movement to enhance concepts. In other words, are you engaging? Are you interactive? Or are you a boring ass lecturer? You remember some times that you were in college where the professor almost put you to sleep? Or you were in high school and every time you went there, you just dreaded going in there because they didn't make it fun. You got to make this shit fun. I don't give a lecture. I give a performance. This is entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, with education. And if you're not looking at it like that, you don't have to be all energetic like me. I realize I'm very passionate. But if you're not having fun, oh, you're gonna get it on this evaluation form. See, I'm here in this category. They're giving me all 5s. I don't even have to look at this shit anymore. When you're gonna get so good, you're not even gonna have to look at the evaluation form because my head is on a swivel the entire time. I can see that the man in the front row with the blue suit on, that's a little bit tight. It looks like he has his little brother's suit on. I can clearly see that he's a hater. So I'm dealing with about a 2% range of no matter how great I perform, somebody's not going to like it. But that's okay. Because with the conference coordinator is going to clearly see that the majority of people can't stop talking about Kevin T. Robertson's presentation. And that's why you're going to keep coming back. Even a little man with his little brother's suit on in the front, okay, that's too small, it's okay. He's going to bring his ass back too. Ha! Especially if I'm doing a corporate training because it's mandatory, bro. You got to deal with me again. Now, interaction. Encourages participation, asks questions, and appears receptive to comments and suggestions. Oh, are you doing a proper Q&A? Are you, first of all, if you don't have a lot of value, if you don't have a lot of educational resources that you bring into you, I'm not talking about these little fake ass books in front of you. I'm talking about up here. You don't even want to put yourself in a situation where you're doing a Q&A unless you are bringing massive value, because they're going to come, they're going to start rapid fire. They're going to be firing them questions off. And these people expect answers. Listen to me carefully. Direct questions deserve the respect of direct answers. And don't be in here giving a little shallow, hollow ass answer. You better be delivering something real for these people. These are professionals just like you who want to move the meter. They're listening to your program because they want to get better. Now listen, if the conference coordinator was the one delivering the value, they wouldn't be paying you, now would they? But the conference coordinator has their own job, so therefore it's your responsibility. Let's talk about the next thing. Let's talk about clarity. Presents an organized, clear message using concrete examples supported by uncluttered, easy to read slides. Oh my God, are your slides easy to read? Don't be trying to jumble 5 or 6 paragraphs on one slide, bro. Sis, all you need is some bullets. And if you're relying on the slides to save your ass because you got a horrible presentation, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in trouble. The slides are supposed to be an enhancement to your presentation. See, I've done this so many times. I don't need the slides. But the visuals do help to be more interactive. I don't need the slides are for you, not for me. All right, because you need to get an understanding of how to present these concepts in front of other people, and you will be judged on it. And is it going to affect your money? Yes. Expertise. Oh, this is logically explains and simplifies the content while meeting stated learning objectives. Ooh, what are you supposed to help them do? Let me say it again for those of you who can't ever catch it. Your job, if you haven't forgot, as the speaker, is to give them key takeaway strategies. They're supposed to leave better than they came in. What are they sitting in your session for? The next one is, are you helping them achieve their desired outcomes and stated learning objectives? You see it right there. What do you think? They got it on here because they want to just for shits and giggles? No, they got it on the evaluation form because it matters. And everything you do is going to be put on the measuring stick for your professional speaking deliverables. So I suggest you smarten up and be trying to practice as much as you can. Remember, the number one problem that speakers have is they don't have an organized message. Get the speech ready and prepared, work on a presence, stage presence, have it be interactive, make sure that it's clear, and make sure you deliver a high level expertise. Conference coordinator wants to work with subject matter experts, leading authorities, trusted advisors, and specialists. You're going to be that every step of the way, as long as you're associated with this coaching program, and I'm going to make sure of it. Now, let's talk about culture, everyone. Culture means that you see all these brands that I have behind me here. This is just a couple of clients I threw on there, so you would understand when you got a client like the Weather Channel. You got a client like the International Association of Venue Managers. These have there's a large disparity from one company to the next when it comes to culture. Your leadership style and your professional speaking services have got to be a good fit for that culture. Coca-Cola has a different kind of culture. Northrop Grumman has a different kind of culture. Bank of America has a different kind of culture. NASA, YMCA, Ritz-Carlton, IKEA, the United States Post Office, Volvo, Costa Cruise Lines, Amtrak, Johnson & Wales University. I could go on and on and on. All these companies, Holiday Inn, they have a different kind of corporate culture. You got to be able, before you go in, it takes discipline for you to understand what that corporate culture is and see whether or not your leadership style is going to be a good fit. Now, all you're really doing, if you're smart, is you don't have to change who you are. However, you do need to make minor adjustments, modifications, and changes. Just modify and change your presentation and modify your leadership style based upon the people who you have in front of you. Now, each one of these separate business entities, they all have massive amounts of dysfunction. You can't operate a giant like this without some major shit going wrong. And guess what? Who they call in to fix the storm? Guess who they call in to fix all the dysfunction? Kevin T. Robertson. You, Mr. or Miss Professional Speaker. They're calling in you because they can't fix it. You know why? Because the machine is going so fast. They simply don't have time to stop. So when they want to fix some of the stuff, they got to bring in a consultant or a coach or a service provider or a speaker or some type of trainer or teacher to come in and give a presentation so they can help remedy these challenges, because what they're doing is hemorrhaging money. So for those of you who are thinking, well, KTR, you charging $10,000, or you charging $50,000 for a keynote speech. That's my keynote range is 50,000. Well, you think that's high? No, it's not. I'm going to charge more as soon as the year turns over, right? As soon as COVID is over, I'm going to be charging more for the coaching program. Who do you think you're dealing with? You got to understand your value. So if a conference coordinator says, well, Kevin, that's not really in our budget. If they start bitching and complaining, like some of them are going to do, it's just the way it works in some business. Well, look at the value. Let's say my keynote range, or let's say my keynote range is 50,000. Well, in 1 hour, I can give you so much value that you have a turnover rate of 15.8%. The last fiscal quarter, that turnover rate, let's just say I'm on my calculator, I'm just taking a shot in the dark. You're averaging 25 to 50 employees is turning over every single month in your department alone. That means retention is a problem for you. Well, let's put that on the leadership. Okay, we already know what it is. And I'm going to go down all the pain points. So you're talking about you're losing $3.2 million a month just in replacing talent. Do you know that it costs 3 times the amount of that employee salary when you have to replace them? So do you want to spend $50,000 to learn to get it right, to slow the retention down? Or do you want to keep hemorrhaging $3.2 million every month? Kevin, I think we'll take the $50,000. Okay, smart enough. Let's go ahead and send me a 50% retainer. And then let's go ahead and talk about what we need to do to get this agreement signed, the speaking engagement agreement signed, and then we can start your onboarding process. Kevin, we'd be happy to do that. I know you would. See, and if you don't start looking at it that way, is you need to understand that every one of these corporations right here, they have a culture. See, my leadership style fits their culture. Do you know why? Because I don't take no shit. I tell you up front, hey, I'm not everybody's trainer. But as you can see by my track record, which, my reputation speaks for itself in the corporate arena. Now, when these companies have to deal with me, I tell them straight up, I don't give a damn if the retainer is, I've had speaking engagements before where they've had to send me a check for $100,000 just to secure a multiple tour days. See, that's called a multi-day booking. So really, you got $200,000 worth of tour days, and they send you $100K up front. I mean, let me tell you something. When you get a check like that, it's absolutely mind-blowing all at one time. One check at one time, that's what a retainer. Okay, now, here's what I learned, is that each one of these corporations, they have a certain kind of thing that's happening in their corporation. They have goals, they have objectives, they have things that are happening in operations, sales, and marketing, and all this kind of stuff. And I just know, I understand infrastructure, business management, like I understand all the stuff on the inside of the company, but I understand what breeds the culture. See, and I'm going to start asking the questions because I tell them straight up, if you don't want to know the facts, you might as well keep your money. Well, Kevin, whatever you mean. Don't try to act like you don't know what I'm talking about. Especially people operating on the executive level. Because sometimes you act like you don't give a damn about the people on the grassroots customer service level. See, and when I do a focus group, when I do like a on-site strategic work session is what they call it. All the frontline employees are going to tell me exactly how the managers and the executive staff is treating them. And I'm going to compile a nice little report. And this is why you're hemorrhaging $3.2 million a month, bro. Because you don't give a damn about the people on the grassroots customer service level. See, I understand the culture. I understand how they dress. I understand how they think. I understand that their salary is not making ends meet. I understand why they act the way they act and how it all works as in synchronicity as part of a big machine. Now, if you don't understand how to help the people fix their individual part, you're not going to be able to fix the machine. I understand how the machine is put together. I understand how to communicate. I understand how the individual employee needs to communicate with on the grassroots customer service level. I understand how those things need to be effectively communicated. I understand why there is a disconnect between the managerial supervisory level, that they don't understand the employees because they're trying to manage the job and they're lacking the people skills and they're micromanaging on top of that. A lot of these companies don't have adequate training resources and these companies are making billions of dollars a year. I don't give a damn who you are. In a lot of areas of your company with the way you manage it, you suck. It's horrible. And you need KTR to come in, the knight in shining logo, come in and tell it to you to your face like a real man of, bro, this is the reason why you're hemorrhaging money. And my signature programs are going to help you save money. So when the conference coordinator starts talking to you about you're too expensive, please don't even try that with me. See, you don't understand your value. And that's why you let them take you for the long ride. Well, we're going to teach you how to have the pricing conversation and how to set fees properly. See, when you're number one, you don't have to take less. When you're the best, you don't have to take less. I suggest y'all go find my money or you won't have my services at your organization. See, that's called leverage. See, when you have leverage, they're going to go find your money. Because if you want to fix this problem that you're having, see, the only way you make money is you're fixing or solving a problem. And I am the fixer or the problem solver. And that's how you need to look at yourself when you are a professional speaker. Let me recap real quick because you need to understand, do not forget, you need to understand the customer on a level that you need to understand these conference coordinators like you know your kids. Some of you that got multiple kids, right? Like you know the ones that got attitudes. You know the ones that don't have any patience. You know the ones that's bad as shit. You know them. But do you understand this conference coordinator? I'm telling you that you got to have a whole nother level of understanding. You need to be talking to conference coordinators every day. If you surround yourself with conference coordinators, you will never run out of money. You're also going to be measured. Remember this evaluation form right here. Your performance will be measured. Your performance will be measured. You want to get a standing ovation like I did right here? Your performance will be measured. Think about that. And the culture. Do you even care about these people? Do you even care about the dysfunction? I don't like it when it's all chaotic. My professional speaker services act as a calm amidst the sea of chaos. It's a thing of beauty. I had that in one of my old bios. Kevin T. Robertson delivers professional speaking services and reverses corporate dysfunction. His services act as a breeze of calm amidst the sea of chaos. See, that's what you got. You got chaos going on in your business, and then Kevin T. Robertson comes along, and it's smooth sailing when you listen to what it is that I want you to do, and you listen to what Auston Troyer tells you to do, and every facet of your life will become easier. I'm not talking about stress. When I come on board, you're going to have less stress. That's the reason why they pay you the big bucks, because you understand the culture. Some other things before we wrap this up, and I'm going to get into the bonus in a little bit. Then I'll answer any other questions that we may have. I want you to understand organization. When I tell you that I understand, this is a mouthful, but organizational infrastructure business management. Those are the things that I really take the time. It's all of the key components inside of the company. And you can Google this stuff to understand how every piece of the company is put together. You got to understand the functionality of sales and operations and management and HR and how to be in compliance and all this kind of stuff. It really will help you deliver a better presentation. And then you understand the leadership. You see that has a little crown right there. Let me tell you something about leaders. Executive leadership. A lot of them, they're talking about numbers and how to scale up and growth and development and global takeover and all this other kind of stuff. They're not, they lose sight of sometimes what's happening at if you're not focusing on what's happening on the customer service level, your company is going to be lost. You know why? Because you're not taking care of the people. See, you take care of the people, they're going to take care of you. You take care of your internal customer, they're going to bust their ass for your company. You take care of your customer, they're going to keep giving you money when you have different products. They're going to support you. That's called brand loyalty. We talked about that last week in the call. What about standards, policies, rules, and procedures? Listen, I don't like rules. I don't like people telling me what to do. But let me tell you something. Every company has standards and procedures, and you've got to make your standards very high of how you're going to deliver this cultural experience, how you're going to start to understand these companies. One of the first things I do before I get to speaking engagement is I ask them to send me the employee handbook. Do you have an employee handbook I could take a look at? Is it a PDF? Is there a book you can actually send me? Can you send me your OSHA manual? See, you don't understand how deep this thing is. That's why I'm as good as I am, because I want to see what the company is doing. I want to see how y'all treating employees before I even get there. Because see, I already know the shit that you're pulling. Because all of it sounds like a broken record to me when you get on my level at 52 years of age, 34 years of experience, and over 2,750 paid speaking engagements. It's a bunch of bullshit going on, and I'm the one to come in there, and I got to listen to employees on the front lines, and I got to come in there. Oh yeah, brother Kevin's gonna come in here and help you out. I jump right in there and help the people first. I'm a person of the people. And if you aren't, they're going to smell it on you right away. You think you're going to come in there standing on a soapbox telling somebody you're an outsider. You better understand these policies, rules, and procedures. What about compensatory packages? I want to know what people are getting paid. I want to know the lowest salary to the highest. And it would be nice if some of these executives would bring their ass in here in the training as well. Oh yeah. Oh, when I'm talking to the person, when I'm talking to the meeting planner, hey, you think some of the executive leadership can sit in on the training? You think they can come off the private jet for a couple of hours, maybe sit in, show some support? Damn, this is the reason why there's a disconnect, because you don't give a damn. Oh, I've seen a lot of speakers that don't care either. It's disrespectful. It's dismissive to not do the proper research and understand the culture. Now we're talking about an environment and atmosphere. What kind of atmosphere are you walking yourself into? You know why I like companies like Google? Google, they create an environment that's pleasurable to work in. They have napping stations. They have these little pods you can go in and do your work. They got before care, after care, day care. They got healthy snacks, free snacks, coffee, drinks, water, anything you can imagine, because they want you to come in there. That's the kind of corporate culture that you're walking into. I want you to do a Google search on the top 50 to 100 companies that's the best companies to work for when it comes to environment. And you're going to see, I want you to read these articles, and you're going to see the type of companies that they have basketball, tennis, swimming, they got the gym, they got everything. The best companies don't want you to leave. You know why? They're trying to create the best experience for you as an employee. Because that, and a happy employee is going to be a more productive employee, and everybody knows it. Now, the ones that don't give a damn about their culture, this is why companies are hemorrhaging money left and right. This is why a lot of companies are going out of business, because a lot of you old school cats, you don't understand what that discipline is all about, or you've lost sight of it. But you as a speaker, you cannot. Now we're getting into the bonus. I got some extra things I want to share with you. I'm going to give a quick abbreviation, and Auston, I'm going to jump back in. And if anybody has any additional questions as we're wrapping up about creating a service experience for the conference coordinator and the conference attendees, Auston, I just want to get your thoughts about the things that I put into the bonus. Attitude. You know, you've heard this one before. Attitude equals altitude. One of my favorite coaching students is Jamal Ali. Jamal just finished sales cycle training, and he got all his marketing materials together. He just finished his speaker info kit website, speaker video demo. He just sent me an email. He wanted me to add some new testimonials to his speaker info kit. And Jamal has a program called Chickens and Eagles. Chickens and Eagles, right? That's one of his signature programs. Now, he's talking about how a chicken, the attitude and the characteristics of a chicken. Do you want to be that? Chickens are very squeamish and scared. You know, all you got to do is just, say something loud and they'll go all over the place, running around like a chicken with your head cut off. A lot of people have that management style. Well, Jamal is talking about the discipline of an eagle, how they can see things. They have vision. They can spot their prey from miles away. That's how keen and sharp their vision is. And they also fly at altitudes of 30,000 plus feet. A chicken cannot fly that high. Crows can't fly that high. They simply cannot survive at that kind of altitude. So, Auston, I want you to talk about attitude, bro. What's one of the key things you would say about attitude? There's a winning attitude to grow your speaker business.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like the discipline one. It's crucial because the details are so important. All this stuff that we talked about, if you're missing any one of them, there's probably a lot of money being on the table. So just being disciplined with, all the work that you're putting in every day. I think, yeah, having a positive attitude is so crucial. And it's really hard for people that, may be in a rough environment or, they're not at the income that they're at or the income that they want to be. It's hard to be positive, but I think having a positive mindset and practicing, staying in that positive mindset is so crucial because, you're going to get what you think about. So, if you're constantly negative, you're probably going to that's going to bleed over into, your sales calls, the work that you do.
That's right.
The customers that you attract, you're going to, it's really hard to have a thriving business if you have a negative mindset. So,
Absolutely.
I think attitude is everything. I think it bleeds right over into mindset, attitude, they go hand in hand. The mindset that you have is going to translate into the attitude that you have.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I suggest that you study the formidable laws of the universe. One of them is the law of attraction. It simply states, the law of attraction simply states, whatever you have on your mind, you're going to consistently attract it into your life. So if I'm thinking wealth, I'm going to be attracting wealth. If I'm thinking creating the best customer experience possible, they're going to see that in my attitude. The attitude is the front lines of customer service. You think about some people, you call them up on the phone and they say, yeah, how can I help you? How can I help you? It sounds like you need help with your attitude first, bro. First of all, did you realize, I want you to look at something real quick on this picture over here up on my slides. I want you to go past the platinum Rolex. I want you to go past the diamond encrusted ring. I want you to go past the microphone. I want you to look at that smile on my face. When you smile, it brightens up the tone of your voice when you're over the phone. Why you think you see me smiling all the time? Because I love what I do. When I got that microphone in my hand, it's nothing that makes me happier. Show that on the front lines to create the best customer service experience possible for everybody. The next thing is going to be contact to close. From contact to close. That means from the point of connection, from the first time the customer even knows that you exist, from closing that customer through the onboarding experience and then managing that customer over the life cycle, it's very important. Auston, jump in here and just give your key main things that's the most important to you when it comes from contact to close and about managing the customer. What is most important to you?
Yeah, I think consistently providing value is so essential. And I think I think contact to close is a good way to put it. I think it could even be contact to, retain or retention. Past the close, how are you, closing a customer is really important, but also retaining them and keeping them engaged. You don't want to have to rely on only new business coming in. The best companies in the world have highly engaged and highly retained customers. Amazon realizes that they can take a massive loss acquiring a customer, like closing a customer. They can lose a lot of money because they know how long an average customer retains at their company. They know if you sign up for Amazon, you buy your first product, you're going to be with Amazon for 10 years and be buying products. So they don't care how much they spend to get you in the business, because they have such a powerful, powerful customer experience. They know you're going to be around forever. So I think consistently providing value and making their lives more enjoyable, making their lives easier is crucial.
Absolutely. I appreciate your input like always, boss. Listen, and I want to go back to something Auston said too about Amazon realizes so powerful. See, you gotta understand, me and Auston we follow a multi-billion-dollar model. Okay. So that's why you got to bring up Jeff Bezos and the things that we talk about and a lot of our other mentors and Sam Ovens and Alex Becker and things of that nature. These guys have machines going. And so what happens is, this is how powerful the Amazon machine is. And I mean, I got to be honest with you, even prior to so Auston comes and pays me a visit. So we redo my whole office. We go out, we give me a brand new desk. We get rid of paper. Like Auston just, we automated my office. I had to upgrade it. A brand new MacBook Pro. I had to upgrade my technology and everything about my office. So Auston set me up on an Amazon Prime account, which I use all the time. And when I go to search for something now on the internet, I don't even go to anybody else. I go straight to Amazon. Now, I am so used to doing it now, I don't even consider another source. I'm like, okay, if I can't get it through Amazon, I don't get it. Bro, very rarely, because of what Auston taught me, very rarely, when I go to Amazon, I search for something, maybe the retailer that they're working with doesn't have it in stock, and I may not want to wait for it, and I got to go do a search on Google to try to find what I'm looking for. And I say, but watch this, I'm pissed when Amazon doesn't have it, because I'm so used to going through the process. And that's because Auston referred me. He said, I didn't set up Auston went and set up an Amazon Prime account. I'm ordering movies for $2.99. I got all kinds of stuff. They giving me free rewards and Kevin, here's a free Kindle. You got 2 free Kindles. That's all because I'm an Amazon Prime member. Why wouldn't you want to be? And they educate me all the time about stuff that's going on. So get down with the power, the personal touch. I mean, if you can't throw a smile on and show your charm and add a personal touch that is very unique to who you are as a man or woman, I mean, it just boils down to the end of the day to being nice. I mean, and if you can't be that, you don't deserve to get any money being in business. You don't deserve to be in business. So, Auston, what kind of personal touch? Because, technology's cold, Troyer, but you give a nice touch. You don't make me feel like you're talking down to me when I'm in one of your tech classes, and I'm in a forever Auston Troyer tech class, by the way. What's one of the personal touches that you put into this thing, man, to not make the process seem so cold?
Yeah. So like, for example, we could as speakers sell, for our program too, we could sell speaking services without talking to the customer, but we realize we could sell it on like a landing page, like have a checkout flow and just have them pay without ever talking to. But we realize, like, we're all humans. The conference coordinator is human. We're all humans. Technology's job is not to just completely replace humans. It's to connect humans better, more efficiently. And so, just like we got, all of our customers on before they signed up, they had to get on a phone with us and talk to us. That is a process you want to have in your speaking business. And that's what we teach. We teach that, you know, to close a customer, you want to get them on the phone. And even these big software companies are realizing, you know, software companies are built by tech people. Usually the founders are tech people, and usually they're introverted, and they don't realize the value of human to human interaction. And what you find, you know, me being in a tech company for a while, a software company, what you find is the customers that get on the phone with someone first before purchasing, they actually are way more valuable. If you look at a 12-month, 2-year long process, because they were set up more properly. They built a human connection with, you know, your customer success agent. So you never want to try to, like, technology will never completely replace humans. And you always want to, knowing that you need, like, you always need to be talking to customers. You always need to be on the phone with people, or someone at your organization will be. You need to master communication, because, you know, we're not all just born great communicators, and there's certain skills that you need to develop to be a great communicator. And so, you know, that's what we teach in module 1, is how to communicate efficiently and effectively. So I think, yeah, just realizing having personal touch in every step of the business is so crucial. It's not about, we're not teaching you how to replace, you know, talking to customers with technology. We're talking about how do you make that process even more delightful and more efficient. So yeah, it's extremely important. It's the most important part.
Troy, I just got an idea, as we always brainstorm. I'm gonna tell the whole world right now, bro, we need to develop a product, because tech people are very, you know, they're very neutral and they're very stoic, right? So we need to come up with a communication product to teach technical people how to be warm and more outgoing, and teach them better communication skills. That could be a separate funnel all in its own.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sorry, I'm acting like I'm in a work session with Austin right now. I'm giving away secrets, bro. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Toma, we're gonna in Madison Avenue has taught us one thing, is connectivity is very important. So TOMA stands for top of mind awareness. And when the customer receives multiple touch points from you, and you have done your job through a value-based service offering, some type of video, value-based video, value-based email, value-based newsletter, anything that has value. If you're educating them on a regular basis, as all of you are on our email list, and you see me and Austin send out emails all the time. We're not asking anything from you. We're educating you every single time. That's creating TOMA. So now when you're actually ready to make a purchasing decision, when the conference coordinator is ready to make a purchasing decision, I already told you early in this masterclass session that sometimes I'm the only one reaching out to them. So they have no other choices. I'm the one that's on their mind. When I'm ready to spend money, I'm going to spend it with Kevin T. Robertson. He's going to be my speaker of choice, because he's the one that took the time to manage his relationship with me properly. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like taking candy from a baby, and it's a thing of beauty. And when you want to have a big ass smile on your face like this over here, I mean, come on now. Yeah. Listen, all you got to do is over deliver. Okay. This is the last slide. All you have to do is over deliver. Now they talk about the pandemic. Ooh, the pandemic creates a new norm. Well, you know what the norm should be for you? Over delivering. You know what the norm should be for you? Making your customers happy. You know what the norm should be for you? Creating a service experience unlike any other brand can deliver in the marketplace. And that is the reason why people want to do business with you, or why they would do business with you as a professional speaker. This business, ladies and gentlemen, would take you to places that you can't even pronounce, right? It'll take you all over the world. It will give you a revenue stream that is unimaginable. It will give you the time freedom so you can do whatever it is you want to do. Like, think about more things that you want to do. The speaker business will allow you to do more of that. You want to spend more time with your family? Then if you're just booking 3 to 5 speaking engagements every single month at $5,000, if you're just doing that, I mean, if you can't have time freedom, you know, having 25, 30K coming in for your speaker business every single month, you don't deserve to have a business. Over deliver. It's not hard. All you have to do is take the very best qualities you have inside of you, the very best integrity that you have, the ways that you were raised. Me and Austin figure out a way to take the very best of what we know as men and what we now know as family. And we deliver that. We serve each other every day. We serve our business partners every day. And that is the reason why we got here or where we are right now. It's an experience that young man creates for me and then what I create for him. And then we take the very best of that and people see the very best of that and we deliver that to our platform of Speaker Focus. Now, what we want for you, obviously, I'm going to end the presentation now, but what we want for you is we want you to do the same exact thing to your client base. And we want you to be able to do that with a high level of consistency. So let me see. I don't believe we have
Vernon King that has a question. He has his hand up.
Vernon. Let's get to you, Vernon. Vernon. Let me see. There we go. Unmute. Vernon, talk to me, boss.
Yes, sir, man. Great job, man. I have thoroughly enjoyed everything. A lot of it was some new information. A lot of it was refreshing. But the question I had, I wanted to go back to a particular that chart that you had showing the different the policies and procedures, and I think it was discipline number 3 about the culture. You called it something. It was organizational something.
Organizational infrastructure, business management.
That's it.
Yeah.
Organizational
infrastructure, business management. And Vernon, that's one of the phrases that I coined of what it is that I'm exceptionally skilled at. I started to study all these companies as I was traveling, and I wanted to find out how they work from the inside out. See, another reason why I work for the biggest public seminar companies in the world, because I wanted to know how the seminar machine was built from the inside out. So I took less money to work for these public seminar companies so I could learn how they put butts in seats. I wanted to see it with my own eyes. And Vernon, that's one of the things that's really important. As you're starting to build your speaker business, you got to understand how these companies are put together, bro. And what I learned is this: they all have the same deficiencies and limitations. They all are basically wired the same way. What makes companies more profitable, what makes companies more successful, it's the management of those companies. And that's the things that I really started to get good at. Does that make sense, Vernon?
Plenty. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. That's the only question that you have?
Yes, sir.
All right, boss, welcome to the program.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you. Okay, if we don't have any other questions, we're going to wrap this up. Let me see. Do we have any other questions or comments, Troy?
Nope.
All right, I believe that was it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as always, it is our absolute pleasure to be of service to you every single week. This is what we're built for. It's the reason why we created Speaker Focus, so you can go through the modules and get massive value. What we hope and wish for you, and the goal is that the exact service experience that we're creating for you, that you would take that service experience. And listen, if you want to figure out a way to make it better, fine. Okay, this is what we're here for. If you got ways in which you feel like our platform can be better, share it with us. See, we love that. We love that customer inbox. We love that email. We love that support ticket. If it's going to make us better, we're interested. So with that being said, I want you to, make sure you dive into these modules. Stay focused on what you need to do. When you live the dream every single day, part of living the dream starts with educating yourself about how to live that dream. On behalf of the staff at Speaker Focus, on behalf of me and my business partner, Auston Troyer, I'm absolutely thrilled to do these master classes for you every single week. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the world's #1 speaker coach on the world's #1 platform for speaker marketing. We will see you right here. Same time, same place. Enjoy the rest of your evening and stay focused on your goals and dreams.